Getting sound now? Sweet. Okay, I figured out how to turn the microphone so it wasn't set up right. Alright, so how are you guys doing? So, there's any questions here yet? So I was having a little bit of trouble getting the engine started. It wasn't working properly, but we got it working now, so we're good now. Um, but yeah, let me see. Turn off the speakers on my computer so it's not echoing. So, but yeah, I was having some troubles with the engine because I don't know why exactly it wasn't working, but well, at first, so I have a Hall effect sensor here for the ignition, and that was causing big issues. I think it got zapped, um, because what happens, I think probably if the ground gets disconnected over here, then it arcs through here, and then I think it killed the Hall effect sensor, so that was dead, and I was having terrible troubles getting it. The ignition wasn't working at all, and so I figured that might be the problem. I replaced the transistors and everything, and still wasn't working. So then I went and replaced the Hall effect sensor. That was the last thing I did, and that fixed it. So that's good. And then I was having troubles getting it running. So usually the first time you get it running after a while, it's really finicky because the just because you have to get the mixture right, you have to get the timing right, because this is your timing advanced. You have to get that just right in order for it to work, and sometimes it's a bit of a trouble, but I think we're good now. So let's see if there's any questions yet from you guys. So it seems like lots of people from all over the place, so some of you guys are gonna miss it, sadly. But I will record this and upload it to the channel. I don't know if it's recording to my hard drive or not. Hopefully it is. So yeah. Um, so let's see. Um, see. Lots of comments here already. Some people are saying it's midnight. Cool. Let's go all the way down to the bottom here. People are saying it's choppy. Network error. So are you guys, is it like working or is it really choppy, or how is the quality? Sweet, some people are saying it's running smooth. My goodness, there's so many comments I can't read them. Let's see, what's this price today? Yeah, I'm gonna upload the stream to YouTube after this. Or I think it'll actually automatically post to YouTube. Like YouTube is actually recording it right now. I think I'm a little bit confused how this works because this is my first try, but we'll see how it goes. But if this goes smoothly, you guys like it, I would be perfectly willing to do more live streams on pretty much anything you guys want. I could do possibly live streams at Hack Pittsburgh. Some of the people there are a little bit, so I'd have to make sure some members are not there because they're always worried about privacy and stuff like that. But so yeah, one person's asking what the compression ratio is. The compression ratio, I calculated it out to be about 10 to 1, but I highly doubt it's that high. It's probably a max of 8 to 1. It's probably more like, I don't know, like 6 or 7 to 1. But it is actually variable because what I've got, so what I'm actually using right here, so this is how I can actually adjust the compression ratio. Let me get the monitor back up here. We've got compression ratio, just how far the, and this one But if you notice that before I don't know if you've ever heard, if you got Fever engine show over in it's probably about two hours or so. Newer engines. There's all kinds of engines going there this year. But it's a really, really awesome event, and I'm super looking forward to it. I'm actually going to have my engines there. So I'm going to have my internal combustion engine, steam engine, because they have an air supply. You're not allowed to actually use a real boiler because of the safety concerns. Yeah, it's next weekend actually. Gosh, that's coming up so fast. But yeah, so I'm gonna be there, and it's gonna be. Hopefully, I could see some of you guys there. So I'm not sure where my table will be yet, because they don't really assign tables. It's just kind of first come, first served. But it should be awesome. If I have a whole bunch of footage from last year, I just haven't compiled it yet. Maybe I should try to get that together this week, and have it up before Cabin Fever. I don't know. We'll see. Because I'm probably going to take more footage there while I'm there this year. So, um, hmm, okay. Let's see. It says that people are doing too many comments. So yeah, I think that there's for some reason there's an automatic comment limit. It's like one comment per like 30 seconds or something like that. Um, so yeah, that's just like YouTube automatically does that. I guess just so the creators don't get spammed too much. Because like if people are posting a comment every like 5 seconds, I wouldn't be able to even see them. It would just be like a constant stream of comments, and it'd be a little bit crazy. So let's see. So does anybody have any specific questions about the engine? Because we have 10 minutes before I want to run it a little bit, or try to run it. We'll see if it runs or not. Um, somebody says it. Here's morning. Yeah, all kinds of time zones. It's pretty cool doing a live stream. Um, I wonder if I could turn the quality down. It might be better for you guys. Let me see if I can do like, like, uh, I don't want to mess anything up, so probably shouldn't edit it. Control room. No, that's not it. Yeah, I don't know how to, if I can change the quality or not, so we'll just have to, hopefully the one that I upload will be like more, will be a lot smoother, so if you guys miss something, you can always rewatch it, I guess. So The induction heater. So I did a little bit more with the induction heater. I didn't really ever perfect it though. It's actually somewhere sitting around here in a box. I don't remember where I put the box because I was cleaning up my workshop today. So I had it. I saw it today, but I haven't really done anything with it lately. Um, but I did get it working pretty good. I think it was working pretty good in that one video, but that was about the best induction heater I really ever got it. I would have to play around with it more to really get it working better. And I just haven't really had time lately with school and everything. Um, and yeah, so it uses the Viton O-ring. These are the Harbor Freight Special. These are so I was originally using the these ones. These are like the $5 kit, and then I upgraded to the $7 kit at Harbor Freight. And these ones, the Viton is a lot better because it actually seems to provide lower friction, and they last a lot longer. Last year, so the first year I had this engine, which was actually 2 years ago at Maker Faire, I used these O-rings, and I had to replace them during Maker Faire probably about, they would last about, I had to replace it about 5 times during Maker Faire to keep the compression up to the point where it would actually run. Um, so these ones wear out really quick. They don't necessarily wear out. It's more like they absorb the Coleman fuel or something like that. Somehow it reacts with the oil or something, and it gets really hard and it shrinks, and then it loses compression totally. The Viton doesn't do that. It's a lot more chemical resistant, I guess, and so these ones last forever. Like this, the one that I've had in here lately, I've run this one. Well, the one that's in the engine, it looks just like this though. I ran it all during Maker Faire, and I still haven't replaced it yet, and it's still in there. Now, I did add a little bit more tape underneath of it because there was one spot it wasn't quite sealing. So, because the groove in here isn't perfect, and so I made it too deep, so I put tape underneath of it, and I think the tape just kind of starts to kind of rot away, so I have to add more tape once in a while to keep the compression up. But these last forever. So the one thing with Viton though is you don't want to burn it. Because then it puts off some kind of really dangerous chemical that will kill you. So yeah, you have to be careful with them. But it's like 500 degrees Fahrenheit, Celsius or something where it starts to break down. And if it's getting that hot, you have problems. Like the JB weld will be catching on fire at that point. So like it's really tough material, but you do need to be careful not to like light it on fire because it does put off like fluoric acid or something crazy like that you don't want to breathe, or even come in contact with because apparently it's a neurotoxin or something, and it's not good stuff. So you do have to be careful with Viton O-rings because of that. Let's see, what else? What type of fuel do I use? I use Coleman fuel, mainly because it's clean burning and it doesn't have additives in it. Because if I use normal fuel, it has additives in it. And I have a vapor carburetor, which essentially evaporates the fuel. So if I was using normal gasoline, the additives would just kind of keep getting more and more concentrated in there until I have like a gummy syrup, and it would just not work too good. So that's why I'm using Coleman fuel, because it's like pretty much pure naphtha, which is the main component of gasoline. It's essentially gasoline just without the additives, and that's just mostly to keep it from gumming up. So yeah, let's see. Looks like there's some more questions here. I did something with the Slayer Exciter Tesla coil. Slayer Exciter Tesla coil. Not too long ago, actually, there was a Tesla club at Hack Pittsburgh that I was at, and I presented it there. But that's about all I've really done with it lately. And no videos on that coming too soon, I don't think. I might try to play around with it eventually, but I can't really make any promises because when I do, then I don't know, it just never happens, and I don't want to disappoint you guys. So it's possible another video that will come in the future, not sure. Someone's asking what's the wattage and volume of your electric kiln. I don't know, it's about that big. It's not big enough to fit a soup can in, because I found that out the other day when I did my bronze casting. So it's not that big, and I think it's 1500 watts, something like that. 120 volts, pretty much maximum current you can draw from a 120 volt outlet. Oh yeah, definitely. If I used like the lathe and mill at Hackbits, somebody's asking whether the idea of this engine was to make it without a machine shop, and I definitely was able to do that. And I'm actually hoping to I've got it in my brain, the plans all like made up in my brain, how I want to build a second one that's even simpler, because this one. The problem with this one is you can easily make it without a machine shop. However, you need a lot of skill with soldering and just in general picturing it in your mind, and it takes a lot of little pieces fitting together just perfectly in order for it to work. So I want to make another one that uses more standard pipe fittings. So I'm thinking to use 1 inch brass nipple that's probably about that long, and because they sell those at Home Depot, and the inside of them is pretty much perfectly smooth. So all I would have to do is put a cap on one end, drill a hole in that, put a spark plug in, and then on the other end I'd need a bunch of adapters to get down to the size for the this rod here. So I would need to get a bunch of adapters, go down to this size of a rod, and then I need to cast my JB Weld piston, and that would be pretty much it. There would be none of this extra soldering stuff, although most of that I could do with JB Weld. That would be the point, is to see if I could pretty much rebuild this engine except with JB Weld. That's kind of what I want to do. Just make it simpler, so it'd be easier for people to build it. So yeah, and also if I went up to a 1 inch cylinder, that would hopefully at least double the power output. Right now this one puts out about 15 watts, so I would hopefully be looking at I don't know, 30, 40 watts. That would be my hope, but not really sure on that. So let's see if there's any more questions here. Uh, oh my goodness, there's lots of comments here. Wow. um, so all of the parts were handmade. So I used like 3/4 inch copper pipe and cut it down with the Dremel tool. The Dremel tool was pretty much indispensable when building this. I also used the drill press, but I easily could have done without the drill press. Um, So yeah, I could have just as well used a electric drill, just a battery operated drill. But it would have been a little bit more difficult because some of the things it was kind of critical to get the holes perfectly straight up and down, um, but not super critical. Like you could do it with a hand drill. Um, but yeah, let's see. How much does it cost? So it really, I I bought more JB Weld for it to make more pistons. I bought the Layton O-rings. So right there, that's about $10. But that's all I've spent on this engine. I can't, like the spark plug, I even pulled that out of an old weed whacker. The rest of it's just copper pipe bits. There's solder, lots of solder. Some of the parts that, like this brass tube here, that was not purchased for this build. That was actually purchased for my steam engine, so I didn't technically buy that for this engine. Now, if you were to build this yourself, the valves, you'd have to buy those probably. I got them dumpster diving, so those were free for me. But I think I have actually tested this briefly. Where is it? At some point, I want to replace these valves with these fish valves, the same type of valve that I have here, and I think that would work just fine. So, yeah, these are just valves. They're brass valves for fish aerating systems. So, and they're really nice little valves. They're like, I don't know, it's like $10 or something for a pack that's like 4 like this. You just buy it at the pet store or order on Amazon. And yeah, so I'm hoping to replace those or these valves that are fairly expensive valves with these much cheaper valves, and hopefully that would work really well, and they would be a lot cheaper and easier to find, because these valves like this, these needle valves, are fairly hard to come by. You have to like buy them on MasterCard or something like that, which they're not cheap. This is actually a new addition. It's a little oiler, or grease cup, although it's kind of stuck right now. So you just turn that. So basically what you do is you screw this off, and then you fill it up with grease. And I got this idea from my friend's old hit and miss engine that he has. So basically it's called a grease cap or grease cup, and you pretty much just take your grease. Now my fingers are going to be all greasy, and you spoon it in there. So let's fill that up. It's a little bit messy because the cup is so small, but it does work. And it really wasn't the best design that I picked either, because there actually needs to be a seal, but I wasn't able to do that. So it's just a bunch of little pipe fittings and stuff. So it's like a pipe cap. I mean, something to wipe my hands off. So you pretty much just load it up with grease, and then when you screw it down on top of here, it pretty much just squishes the grease through a hole and greases this rod here. Because before, what I had to do was just take and keep rubbing grease on there to keep it well lubricated, because if you don't, well, it's gonna ruin itself. So yep, and it's actually trying to run right now, so that's a good sign. And actually it is 7:22. Let's check to see if there's any more questions, and then we will give it a run. So somebody's asking how does the carburetor work? So the carburetor is very simple. It's called a bubble carburetor, or bubble carburetor or vapor carburetor. So essentially what we have here is a jar of fuel, and you can see there's a pipe right here on top. I don't know if, let me check to make sure this is in frame. There's a little here. Air it goes everything that actually my dad said that there were I don't know. Is the quality still alright, guys? So somebody's asking whether you could build a larger version to power a bike. There's actually a guy on YouTube that actually did that. He has the engine like mounted on the handlebars, and I think he used 2-inch cast iron pipe for the cylinder. I could be wrong about that, but it's a pretty neat little engine. I'll have to find it at some point and I don't know, post a link somewhere. But it's a really cool engine. It's not very powerful, but it's enough to keep the bike going. It's really cool. It's a really hard to find video though, because I don't think it has very many views, and it's also not in English. And when videos are not in English, sometimes they don't get a whole lot of views, and it's kind of sad to see that. But so maybe I could try to link it somewhere or feature it, because that was a really cool video. Let's see. So somebody's asking whether I could run it on alcohol. Yeah, it'd probably run on alcohol, although alcohol doesn't have as much energy, so I don't know if it would, how well it would run. I also really hate the smell of alcohol, like burning alcohol. It really kills me. It's just the fumes from it. So that's the other reason I really wouldn't want to run it on alcohol. Did the part with the carburetor, were you guys able to Were you guys able to see that, or was it cutting out? Should I re-explain that? Somebody's asking whether it can run on natural gas. Yeah, it could probably run on natural gas. I would assume it would. And actually, natural gas has a larger range where it's actually flammable. Like gasoline, it's like, I forget what ratio. It's like 14% or something like that. It's a really small range. It's like 14 to like 16% that it's actually flammable. Natural gas has a much larger range, so natural gas would actually be easier to run it on than gasoline. Let's see. So it was somebody says it was lagging during the carburetor part. All right, so I could re-explain that real quick here, and then we'll give it a run. So the carburetor is essentially two valves, and there's a check valve in here, so it's just a little ball bearing, and we'll take that apart later, and I'll show you exactly how that works. And then in here we have the fuel jar. So basically, this is a vapor carburetor, so right here you can see that small hole, and essentially what happens is when the piston moves forward, it basically creates a vacuum back here, and the vacuum opens the check valves and pulls air in, so it creates a vacuum on the top of the jar, because this line here goes to the top of the jar, and then because it creates a vacuum there, it causes air to bubble up through the fuel. So when I turn this, you can actually see the air bubbling through the fuel, and that evaporates some of the fuel, and then the vapor from the fuel goes in here, gets mixed with a little bit more air in here to get the right mixture, and then it goes into the engine and burns. So that's how the carburetor works. So let me get my tripod out here. Unless I leave you guys here, I'm not sure where to leave you guys for the run. I wonder if it's actually going to cause interference when I try to run it. I hope that doesn't happen. Yeah, I really hope that when it's actually sparking, if that's creating the interference. Let me see if you guys are... Yeah, it has actually broken when it was running. So this was the original piston that I made, and you can actually see the connecting rod kind of destroyed itself there, and that's because there was the uh, people are saying it's choppy again. Yeah, bet when I turn the engine over, it probably breaks the internet up. Dang. Well, let's give it a run, and we'll see what happens. Let me know in the comments if it breaks up, and hopefully it doesn't. Fingers crossed, and fingers crossed it runs too. So here we go. Is it breaking up, Dad?
When you were showing the piston, it was breaking up.
Huh, that's weird. Seems like people are seeing it. Seems like it's working right now, though. So. Turned off. Sometimes it turns off randomly. Let me turn the fan on too, so I don't kill myself in here from carbon monoxide and stuff. Yeah, this is just a fan. So was it holding up there? Yeah, it looks like it. All right, cool. Yeah. Sorry about that. I keep getting so deep into what I'm explaining that I don't get to read the comments. But there's a lot of comments there too, so that's really cool though. So yeah. So this is a little oiler right here. So once in a while, I'll just put a couple of drips of oil into the engine, and I don't know if you guys can actually see that or not. Looks like you guys are lagging a little bit behind actually, but I think it's working. So. So that's how well it runs. Sometimes it just takes off and starts running like crazy, and then I have to throttle it down with my hand just because I don't want it to like self-destruct. I've actually let it run to 4,000 RPM before, which it's a little bit insane when it's running that fast, but it hasn't destroyed itself yet, so that's always good. But yeah, let me see. I have no idea how much NOx it produces. Probably plenty. Although, however, it's not burning very hot, and I think you need a hot combustion to produce nitrous or NOx, whatever that nitrogen oxides or whatever it is. So actually, I don't think, and it's also running extremely rich. So I don't actually think it produces much nitrous oxides or NOx or whatever it is. So I actually doubt it's producing much. Let's see. So, yeah, it needs a muffler. It's really loud. Cool. So people are saying the engine was running perfectly with no lag. That's awesome. Stick your tongue on the flywheel. I don't know about that. I could, I guess. It's pretty smooth, so. I've actually been thinking about trying to stick skateboard wheels on it to see if I can get it to like drive around, because I think that'd be pretty darn cool to see. I don't have my propane bottle in here right now, so I can't really try that. It could probably run on hydrogen. Would it waterlog the chamber? I don't think so. I think it would run fine on hydrogen, because, I mean, if you think about it, when you burn hydrogen and oxygen, it's not like it's producing a lot of water. It would just produce a little bit. It'd be producing enough where it would boil it away, I would think. Use a pop can as a muffler. Yeah, that would work. I could do an Arduino. The problem is, software is not my thing. So, like, I could easily replace the circuit over here with an Arduino. However, it's so simple that you don't need to. I mean, I guess if you did Arduino, then you could program it to when it gets like to adjust the timing advance as the RPM increases. But I think that's just too complicated. So all I've got here is my Hall effect sensor, little magnet there. I can move this around wherever I want to get the right timing advance. The Hall effect sensor goes over here. It gets basically, there's a couple resistors here, and then there's a small transistor, an NPN transistor, and that essentially inverts the signal and amplifies it from the Hall effect sensor. That sends it to a MOSFET, and then the MOSFET basically just turns on the ignition coil over here. This is a diode here to protect the MOSFET from the back spikes from the because when the back EMF spikes. And then we've got a big capacitor here for just filtering the battery, and then we have an LED here, so that's just an indicator, so you can see when it's actually firing. That's just kind of to help me troubleshoot it to make sure the Hall effect sensor is close enough to the magnet. So that's what the LED is for. But it doesn't actually draw that much current. It draws a couple milliamps just on standby, and then I think it does about, I think it's 1 amp spikes or something like that when it's actually firing the coil. So it's not efficient, but it works great. And so let's see. Let me pull up see if there's any more comments here real quick. I'm studying mechanical engineering technology at Penn State right now. Um, yeah, I can tune it while it's running. So I can do that real quick here. Yeah, I can throttle the RP the I can throttle what you call it. I can close the air valve a little bit to try to maintain an RPM. But the problem is then it often you kind of overshoot a little bit and then it chokes off and dies. So yeah, here I'll give it another try here. Let me put you guys. Yeah, I'll put you guys over here. Hopefully you can see from over here. Um, I think. All right, here we go. Quality here. Ones here. Um, yeah, I think there's lag from the EMF. So I probably should get a LAN cord down here and hook that up, an Ethernet cord. That would probably be a lot better. It would probably get rid of that when it cuts out. So, um, some people are saying they have to go. So, bye guys if you have to go. But we'll still continue it. We'll continue as long as you guys want me to, really. So, seems to be, yeah. I think it's from when the from the ignition, it's causing the video to chop up. It's messing with the Wi-Fi. Yeah, I probably I should have gotten an Ethernet cord down here. Um, so yeah. Um, let's see what else. So I've actually had this engine. I built this about 2 years ago, I think. So I've actually I can't even believe I've had it for 2 years, because it feels like so much shorter than that. But yeah, I guess I've had it for 2 years because I had it at Maker. No, maybe I guess I've had it for a year and a couple months actually. So about a little over a year. So yeah. Uh, sure, it's a safe project to do at home. Um, I mean, you might chop your finger off with a Dremel tool or something, but it's not that dangerous. I mean, I don't know. I think it's pretty safe. I mean, it hasn't exploded yet, and it's all soldered together. Like people are saying that I should braze it together. There's a couple of reasons why I wouldn't braze the copper pieces together. One is because if I braze the pieces together, then the copper will get annealed, and then it will be really soft, and it'll probably not be strong enough for this setup here. Like for example, these little ears here would probably bend off if they were annealed, because this is like rolled copper, so it's pretty tough copper. And so if I heated it up, it'd get annealed, and then it'd be really soft, and those ears would just bend over. So that's one reason why I wouldn't braze it. The other reason why I wouldn't braze it is because I don't have brazing equipment. So yeah, I have a propane torch, and that seems to work really good. So solder is the way to go for me. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, we'll talk about the recent lost wax casting in a bit. So we'll talk about that probably either towards like 9 o'clock or something like that. Um, because I want to tear this engine down and so you guys can see how it's built. And then, yeah, so we'll talk about that later. So let's actually hook up the generator here. So I need to get my tripod out here so I can put you guys on the tripod. So you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. Alright, so let me put you guys here. Try not to knock it off of here. Alright, so this is, hold on, sorry. Okay, so this is not the most fluid live stream ever, I don't think. So let's stick the generator on here. So this is the generator. It's essentially a little motor. I don't know if I have another one. Somewhere I've got another one. Okay, so the generator is basically just a little DC or AC motor that is from a photocopier. So you can see how there's windings inside there. It's a stepper type motor from a photocopier. So yeah, let me get back to the motor. So here's the C clamp, just holding the generator on to get this here. That looks pretty good. That could be. I wonder if that What do you think so far? Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
Is anybody else using the internet a lot?
I was just streaming this out.
Okay.
Anybody else is using it?
Okay. Alright. I know, right? Um, some people are saying they have to go eat breakfast. Guess they're in different countries. So yeah. So it's water cooled, and yeah, that's the generator. And I wonder if the lag was from the fan, because I have a fan powering this, and I don't know whether that is it could be causing interference as well. So I turned that off. So I'll hopefully not suffocate. Well, we won't run it very long though. So let me hook up my phone charger. So I've got my phone charger here. Let me see, make sure I'm in frame here. Okay, okay, okay. Outlet phone charger. If circuit at high frequency transistor to switch the further. And so, shoot. Yeah, this. Remove the clamp. Yeah, 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 yeah. I really hate my belt setup here. Going off the other side. Not very effective. Until you get it. a wrap of tape in the middle of this motor. Let's see if that'll work. That's still working though. Let's try it again. So you have here, so that's why I have my thing. How many watts they are? If they're 5, no, watts there. No. Oh, seems like it's having problems again. Let me see. I don't know if I have an Ethernet cord that's long enough. Because it has to go all the way upstairs. All right, do you guys want to hold on for 5 minutes? Let me see if I can get an Ethernet cord hooked up. And I have one, but I don't know if it's long enough. That's the problem. I actually kind of doubt it's long enough. It's worth a try, I guess. Yeah, I really don't think that's long enough. Shoot. Yeah, that's not long enough. Yeah, I don't have an Ethernet cord that's long enough. I don't know how to change the resolution actually. Yeah, so I think the problem is the engine is causing interference with the Wi-Fi and causing it to cut out, and I think that's what the problem is. But I don't have an Ethernet cord that's long enough. This is the only one that I've got, and it has to go all the way like down the hallway, up the steps, and down the other hallway to get to the Wi-Fi, because the Wi-Fi is actually directly above me. So like, well, the shortest way would be to drill a hole through the ceiling, but I don't think I should do that. um, but yeah, I will have to get an Ethernet cord hooked up for, I guess, the next stream. Whenever I do that, if I run this engine again, at least. So yeah, I guess it could be messing with my computer too. I'm not sure. Um, does anyone know how to change the resolution? I don't actually. Output settings. Actually, my CPU is on. I wonder if that's under the settings tab and then video. Okay, let me see if I can find that settings tab. And then video. It doesn't want me to be able to. Yeah, I don't actually know how to change the video quality. Although I don't know if that would help either. Yeah, it would probably be easy if I cut a groove into the flywheel. Problem is, I just can't bear to cut a groove into this beautiful flywheel that I cast, because it turned out so nice. Although you can actually see I don't know if the quality is good enough. But you can actually see that it's quite porous. Actually, there's quite a bit of bubbles in it, but it did turn out really nice, and so I didn't really want to um, cut a groove into it. I had thought about it, but yeah, I don't know. So yeah, you can see. I don't know if it'll focus or not. If it'll focus that close, because it is a webcam. Webcams don't tend to focus well. But see what's all over it because it's porous. Wasn't the best casting, but it did work pretty well. It was one of my better aluminum casts. Um, yeah, I'm using wire. I don't know if I need to change see 100% definitely. So that could also be part of the problem. But yeah, I don't know. So we did get a pretty good run of the engine. So maybe we'll try one more time to run it real briefly, and then. Oh, actually, are you guys? Shoot. Are you guys actually? Is it just lagging behind, or are you guys actually seeing it? Um. Okay, so you guys are actually lagging quite a bit behind, but that's just the way the streaming software works and such. Because it takes a while for it to process it. It's like you guys are actually probably about 30 seconds behind what is actually happening here. I think. I don't know actually. That's what it looks like. It's about 30 seconds behind, but maybe more like a minute actually. Um, let's see. So I think the bubbles in my casting are probably from just the aluminum that I use. Like, because when you melt the aluminum, what happens is oxygen and hydrogen and other gases get dissolved into the aluminum. And when they get dissolved into the aluminum, then when the aluminum cools, it can't hold all of those gases anymore. So they all basically form little pockets of gas, and that's where all the bubbles come from. So packing the sand around the casting more wouldn't really do anything um, as far as that goes. Um, yeah, I created a wormhole. um, nah, that's not that many tabs. I usually have more tabs open. I usually have like, let me see, how many tabs do I have open on my other browser? No, I don't have that many. I closed some of them out to try to free up some power on my computer, because I usually have a lot more tabs open. And that would actually probably help if I closed out some of the tabs, but let me see. That might help actually. Let me see if I can close some tabs out and free up some process I should have thought about before I started the video. But yeah. I'm such a genius. That's the problem. Let's see. Let's close that out. free up some processing power. Wait, did I X out the wrong thing? Okay, still there? Okay, good. Whew. Alright. So yeah, I think it's just that the ignition is messing with the Wi-Fi and causing it to break up. So if I was going to do this again, I would try to get an Ethernet line down here, and that would probably fix it. So yeah. Maybe we could. Do you guys want me to try running the engine one more time? And if wait, what's this button do? I hope we're still streaming. Yeah, I don't know why it's not letting me actually change the settings for. I don't know. Whatever. I'm not gonna worry about it right now. Okay. So let me see if there's any more comments because I keep going off on rants and then that's no fun. So live control room. Yeah, I'm still getting used to this. No, that's not what I wanted. How do I actually see the comments again? Yeah, I'm lost. Oh, view on watch page. Here we go. Okay, let's see if there's any new comments here. Hopefully this isn't too boring. People are saying it was breaking up when the engine wasn't running. Yeah, it could be the position of my laptop. Yeah, I don't see. I don't know. I don't know how to turn the because it's at 100% CPU still, even after closing all of my tabs. I really don't. Any more questions? Okay. Some people are saying hi from the UK. Hello. Oh, stop my own video as well. Yeah, that might help. Okay, I'll stop that. We'll see if that does anything. Then I won't be able to read the comment. Okay, I can pull it back up though. So let's do another run of the engine real briefly here. And then we'll get to more questions. No, we'll tear down the engine and then we'll get to more questions. So this is going to go a bit longer than I thought it would. Light bulbs, you can see those ejected directly to the generator. I'll just stick those on this rod here. Should be good. So we've got two in series. Okay, so we've got the generator here going directly to the. There's some diodes here for rectification to turn it into DC. 3,300 microfarad capacitors just to smooth it. And those are just values I chose because I can find them in my box. And then we have the two light bulbs. I think these are 24-volt light bulbs. I forget. So let's see if it's going to run. Oil in the piston. It starts to squeak when you don't have enough oil. Let's also get rid of this too. We're not running the fan right now, so cold start. It's quite a workout trying to start the engine. Come on, engine, start. Come on. Start. Get more load off the engine. Get it tuned properly. That's one problem, is this belt gets in the way if I stick it over here. I never know where to put it, so it doesn't get caught in things. Come on, baby. This is just one. You have to get the mixture just right. That's the main thing. But yeah. Ugh. It's tiring. My arm's tired now. Yeah. What if I just tried offense figure game? I actually turn the engine over, it stays on. Yeah, that's what I was doing before. Shoot. I think, I'm not sure if this is what's happening, but that's what happens. Is so and that some kind of a EMP kills it. Like, it ran really well. I didn't have any problem with it, and now I've just blown it up. That's what it did before. And when this was because it'll kill the MOSFET eventually. More so the diode though, actually. The MOSFET handles it pretty good. Tries. Here's a different angle of the end. Yeah, the ignition's messed up. I probably need to redesign my circuit too. That would probably help. Yeah, it's acting up. I think that's gonna have to be. You usually don't want to finger test on those because usually hot things are hot, and you will burn your finger pretty good if those are toasting hot. I know somebody that they had a finger print of a T220 or whatever those packages are, tip 220. Their finger is pretty good. I like I've had before too, but I didn't get and yeah, let's hope that everything's still working properly. Please still be working. Yeah, the breadboard probably doesn't like the current either. That's probably part of it. But yeah. So are you guys getting the stream? Is it working all right now? Right, there's a big lag here. So yeah. Okay, so let's tear down the engine because I don't think we're going to get any good runs out of it anymore because of the Hall effect sensor being blown. So let's dump the fuel into let's empty the fuel out. So the fuel jar just comes off like that. Let me make sure everything is still in shot here. It's kind of do. This is actually a shot from over here, I think. Got the fuel. Seems like let's see. New comments. Okay, people are saying it's stable now, so that's good. So yeah, I think it's the engine is just the ignition is just messing with the computer, or the Wi-Fi or something. So we are done running it now. So let me disconnect the battery and everything like that. So where should we start? We'll just start tearing it down. Let me put this. So the belt just comes. Get the belt off here, so it's out of the way. Put the belt back home over here. Okay, so let's tear it down the way I normally do. So that's the ignition is off. So then the spark plug, it just screws out like a normal spark plug. Now this is actually, this fitting here that it screws into is actually just a pipe fitting. It's like a compression fitting. I think it's, I could be wrong, but I think it's 5/8 compression fitting. So the threads don't actually match up. It's pretty much cross-threaded in there. But as long as you put lots of Teflon tape on the spark plug, it seals just fine. So yeah, not exactly the way you're supposed to seal a spark plug, but it works. You can see the spark plug is very charred, lots of carbon there. So it's definitely running very rich. So yeah, that's why I'm pretty sure there's probably no NOx coming out of this engine, just because it's running so rich and it's not going to be burning very hot. Um, but yeah, so that's just soldered on there. This is the water jacket here, which is just a piece of 3/4 inch copper pipe adapter, and that is just pretty much has a coil of copper brake line, I think it is, or real small tubing. It's like 1/4 inch tubing or something. 1/4. Maybe it's three. No, it's not 3/8. I don't remember what size it is. It's pretty small tubing though, just wrapped around there with great gobs of solder on there. It works really good, and there's plenty of thermal heat transfer from the cylinder wall to the water jacket. So that's the water jacket. Then we'll screw the little oiler off of here. So you can see the oiler is really simple. It's got one of these. So the valve is from one of these aerator fish tank valve things. So I just cut that valve off there and then soldered a bit of brass tubing on the top. And then these are actually pennies. The top and bottom are pennies because I was too lazy to cut out like round circles of copper because that takes a lot of work to cut out like a perfect circle. So I just use pieces. So I just use pennies, 2 pennies. And then I have a little screw down on the bottom here that has a hole drilled through it for the oil to go through. And then this piece of glass tubing is like a section of test tube, small test tube, or maybe it was glass vial. I don't remember. It's a piece of glass, so, and it's sandwiched between there with these little screws. And so basically, you just turn the little valve, and a little drip of oil will come through. You can see the drip of oil gathering there on the end. And I'm actually using mineral oil. I'm using mineral oil because I figure there's probably less like cancer additives in it and stuff. So hopefully it's not as bad to burn because it's getting burned in the engine. So yeah, I just kind of had mineral oil. I don't know if it's the best. It probably doesn't lubricate the engine very well, but I mean it seems to work just fine. So this is the intake, or I mean the top of the carburetor, the vapor carburetor. So it's essentially just a the original seal on there was getting all eaten up from the gas from the Coleman fuel. So I have this cork that I put in there to seal it. And you can see here that let me make sure you guys are still in. Okay, so you can see here the end is from that and from the engine. That creates a vacuum in the top and then air through the this is and this probably dumpster dove. Here you can see the little bearing which acts as a so that just seals against this flange, whatever it is. His so gas to flow this and piston comes back and fires the next mixture. Which is very simple, just a ball bearing. So then just pretty much just loosen that one up, and sometimes it's just off of here so that I can actually get so one screw and put it in the drill to 5. And pivots. A 1/8 cap, I think it is, and then a 1/8 NPT piece. Insulated or our pieces of cork gasket maker, and then we've got another one on this side. Let's get this screw there. We've got the it's a vacuum back here, and so then when the piston goes this way, it can't escape back out of it's a little bit tight right now. My hands are greasy. There we go. And you can see it. Oh, mean, it's a little bit, not much. I mean it's hard. Could consider it kind of, and then there's that and that I did doing on the drill press thing. It's just that's big cracks there because it's solder's not the best option there. That would be best to weld it, but as well. So we've just got, well, we'll get this off. So here we've got just another wire connector. I did it up with the blowtorch around a bolt that was about a small hole. Oh, there we go. There we go. So we've got a small nut and bolt through a little hole there, and just now one of the important things a piece of shaft and then a small rounding so that the it just slides off and then it binds and jams up and messes everything up. So what I did was I took and Dremel tool, a grinding wheel, and cut that small groove that you see. Too much prayer. So that's that part. stroke length, all I have to do is lose stroke length. That's about right. So that's all this is, just pieces of steel that have two holes together on the front. Work adjustable. Um, no, no, no. What's going on? Here, just fits into a I cut in the wood Dremel tool. So I took the Dremel tool and no, I actually haven't uploaded it yet. So I took a Dremel tool, cut a bunch of grooves in there, and I don't actually really know why I have that there. Another there. Now I use put it in. Like on there. Yes. Yes. Totally. Holds it up, and then you can see my Hall effect sensor here. I'm back. So let's answer I need to make a. Someone's asking about the ignition coil circuit. It's really simple, but I don't have a schematic drawn up for it yet. I need to do that. But essentially, it's a NPN transistor that essentially inverts the signal from the Hall effect sensor, and then that is just fed into a MOSFET, and we have a diode there to protect the MOSFET from the back EMF, and that's it. Really nothing more. There's a bunch of resistors in there just to put the right biases on the transistor and the MOSFET and everything like that, but that's about it. Let's see what else. Oh, the stream stutters when CPU can't handle the load. Dang. See people getting lag spikes. I wonder if nobody got the teardown. Dang. I really hope the non-live version of the video will be better quality, because it seems like people are not the stream is not working very well for them. I really don't know how to turn the quality down. I could try again, but I don't want to like just try to turn the quality down and people are trying to, because it well, I guess if I can turn the quality down, that would help you guys. It'd be make it more watchable. Yeah, I really don't know where that, like, it's not. Well, let's see. Are you guys able to watch it now? Is it better now? Huh. Yeah, I could do a small shop tour real quick. I could try to see if there's any. So it seems like that when the camera is far away from the computer, it lags. I don't know. I don't understand that, but some people are saying some funny things in here. Okay, let's. Let me get this. Is that better? Like, are you guys able to? You can't see anything though. That's the problem. We'll see if that. We'll let it sit for a minute and see if that catches up. I don't know if that would help or not, but turning off the video. I don't know, but then you can't see me. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I turned the camera off for a minute there to see if that might help it catch up better, but I don't know. So somebody was asking about a small shop tour. Like, well, first let me just make sure you guys are all okay with the video right now. Is the video doing all right now? I hate the lag. I hate that there's a lag between me actually saying something and then you guys actually getting the content. It bugs me. Screen is back on. People are saying good. For now, it's good. Sweet. Okay, so a small shop tour. I suppose I could do that real quick. So pretty much, this is my little shop. It's a little bedroom, or it used to be. Well, actually, it actually couldn't be a bedroom. So part junk bins. That's a small circuit bin. All kinds of aluminum sheet. Over by that mine. It's like in perfect. Here's fact. Though that isn't awesome. Probably actually worth a good. On down the middle. I'm sure that's what it is, at least. So there would have been a terminal attached. There, more dumpster dough from businesses. I've got mercury contactors and stuff up here. In the people are there's still a lot of lag. Let me see. All right, let's try to fix this lag. Okay, let me see if I can figure this out real quick. People are saying it's a sweet spot. Oh, yeah, that would be really nice if there was some kind of a notification that you could like click the button when it's lagging a lot. That would be really cool. Um, yeah, yeah, I don't know. Um, so yeah, let's see. So, greetings from the U.S. um, okay, so let's see if we can get back to the shop tour. So yeah, in this box I've got old mercury contactors, which are pretty darn cool. What's in here? Oh, those are actually mercury switches. These are big mercury switches too. Really awesome. These are like really vintage ones. Pretty cool. I don't know if you guys can see that. Get the monitor back up. I don't have a monitor like on my camera. I'm so used to having a monitor that I can see exactly what I'm looking at, and it's kind of hard to do. But yeah, that's a mercury switch from an old thermostat or something. These are all mercury contactors though, which are really neat. You can actually, you might be able to hear the mercury sloshing. But yeah, they're mercury displacement contactors. So there's basically a plunger inside the tube of mercury, and there's contacts at the top. And when the magnet turns on, it pulls the iron plunger down into the mercury. Because mercury is heavier than iron, the mercury floats on the iron, or the iron floats on the mercury. So when the magnet turns on, it pulls the iron down into the mercury, and the mercury like pushes up around the plunger, around the iron plunger, and then it touches the contacts. And these are very reliable because the mercury essentially, because like when you have a relay, the mercury, the high current eats away the contacts. With this, the mercury doesn't really disappear because it's sealed, so there's no way for oxygen to get in and corrode the contacts. And the mercury like might evaporate a little bit when it gets heated up, but it condenses again. So they're very reliable for high current loads and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, got like a bunch of batteries and laptop batteries and boxes and stuff like that. And this is my workbench. Got a very bad soldering station there, which the soldering iron blew up pretty much like the first time I used it. So the hot air reworks is the part I actually used and only part that works on it. It's so cheap. Luckily, I got a full refund on it, so I'm happy about that. But this is my Weller soldering iron that I use for pretty much everything else. Like bins of components and stuff in here. Although not many components over here. But I mean, there's like a batteries, relays, and small capacitors, some screws. This is my screw bin. Oops, there's screws everywhere. Oops. This is a power supply that I really love. So it's got a power supply, it's got a voltmeter. This is a pulse generator, although I've not really used that very much. And then this is a frequency generator, or signal generator, which is really nice. It does square wave, sine wave, triangle wave, the whole shebang. And the nice thing is that these are modules, so they pop out, and then you can have a bunch of these modules. The problem is these modules are kind of rare, and they're really expensive. They're like $200 for one module, so it's kind of ridiculous. But I scored that from somebody that was getting rid of it, so I got it for free, which was pretty nice. And then dumpster dive, really nice oscilloscope. It's an early digital one, pretty nice. Use that fair amount sometimes for projects. Well, I don't really use it that much, but it's really nice to have it sometimes. Let me make sure the stream is still working good. So people are asking questions about the mercury contactors. Oh, I'm not sure what the mercury contactors were actually used for. They were a dumpster dive, and I have no idea. So yeah. But yeah. So I don't know. So yeah, what was I gonna say? Well, let's see if there's any comments here. Yeah, the piston is JB Weld epoxy putty. Um, it's basically epoxy with like steel in it. So yeah. Um, yeah, I think it keeps freezing for people. No, I don't watch Doctor Who. Although I helped build a TARDIS, and I helped build the drivetrain for it as well, so we could drive it around. It's an actual drivable TARDIS. Maybe I think there's a way for me to actually insert video. Um, Eventually, I want to. It's probably never gonna happen though. I want to do a video, like compile it into a video at some point, but it's probably never gonna happen. Honestly, I had so much stuff, so much school and stuff. It's crazy. Um, but yeah, I helped build this. Somehow there's a way to share my screen as well. I don't know. Let's see if I can figure out how to do this. Mm, Somehow. I don't know. But yeah, I'll just stay on the screen here. This is what it looks like. So that's actually Chad of Hack Pittsburgh, the makerspace that I'm a member of. And this is the TARDIS that he built most of the TARDIS, although I helped paint it and build it a little bit. I mostly did the drivetrain. So here's the actual drivetrain that we built, that I mostly built. I mostly designed and built that. And it's basically designed on a wheelchair base. And so we actually drove it through the streets of Pittsburgh. It was pretty fun. But yeah, drivable TARDIS. Let's see if we can find a video of it here driving around. Oops, that's not a video. This is a video. That's not a very good video. Let's try this one. Yeah, you can see it's actually driving around. It's pretty awesome. And it lives at Hack Pittsburgh. It's at Hack Pittsburgh right now. We moved it around actually, but yeah, it's still there. So if you guys want to see a full-size TARDIS, there's one in Hack Pittsburgh. So yeah, Uptown Pittsburgh. You guys should stop by if you're in the area. Let's see if we've got another video of the TARDIS. Here's the parade that we were marching in with it. You can see the TARDIS there. But yeah, so let's see if there are any new comments here. What are my future plans for my channel? Keep posting videos as much as I can. I don't know. Yeah, I did watch the new Star Wars movie, and I think it was one of my favorites, just because it I don't know, it I guess it explained a lot of the mysteries of the other ones, like just kind of it really fit in well. I liked how it fit in well, and I think it had a good plot. Sample rate of the oscilloscope. I don't know. It's a Nicolette Pro 32. I think it might be 50 megahertz. I'm not sure. I would have to look at the manual. I actually have the full manual booklet for it too, which is pretty awesome. Oh, yeah. I'm guessing you're talking about the TARDIS. The TARDIS is made out of wood. But yeah, I don't know if you're talking about 3D printing this TARDIS. I don't know. I'm a mechanical engineering technology major, so yeah, MET. Oh, thanks. Yeah, hopefully I'd survive during the apocalypse. So let's see, what else do I got in here? Couple of, well, that actually doesn't work. The frequency counter, that doesn't work very good. Something's wrong with it. No wonder. Probably that's why I found it in a dumpster, because there was something wrong with it. And I wasn't able to fix it. So yeah, lots of different stuff. I've got like some chips over there, although I don't really use those very much. Most of those are logic chips. More junk bins. I mean, most of it's pretty sorted, like capacitors. These are larger capacitors. We've got more capacitors in here. These are film capacitors. We've got switches in there. We've got this is all like rubber seals and stuff. We've got a bunch of old ICs. So eventually I'll probably either recycle those or something, sell them on eBay as gold scrap. In here we've got a bunch of switches that are all sorted. I've got flyback transformers up here. Lots of flyback transformers. I've got like heat sinks, big heat sinks, small heat sinks. I've got all kinds of stuff in here. Lots and lots and lots of stuff. This drawer down here is like dying from the amount of transformers I have in here. Especially the microwave oven transformers. Those are heavy. It's like heavy. It's like 150 pounds. Oh. Some stuff in there. And then over here in this cabinet, I've got some of my oscilloscopes, and that's all my radioactive stuff. So I've got Geiger counters over here. I've got a few Geiger counters, and the camera doesn't reach. So these are dosimeters. So these are ones that like you actually back in the day you would have seen dentists or really hygienists wearing these. So they would clip them on their shirt, and it basically is a tube that you charge up to a certain voltage, and there's a small quartz fiber inside, and the quartz fiber basically works as an electroscope, and when the radiation hits it, it causes the charge to change, and that the electroscope would then the fiber would then deflect, and then you would get a reading on. There's a small, you can actually look through it up at the light, and you can see how much the fiber deflected, and then there's markings in there how much radiation you received. So these are dosimeters. And then this is the charger for them. So it puts out a high voltage, and you basically just push the dosimeter module or the dosimeter tube down on the charging port, puts out a high voltage, and then you can adjust to zero the hair inside there. And then I've got a Geiger counter here, pretty nice one that I hooked up a speaker to so that I could hear the clicks. And then I've got a bunch of radioactive stuff in here. Nothing too radioactive, but I can show you some of the stuff I got in here. Got some uranium ore that my dad bought on United Nuclear. Nothing too special, it just looks like a rock. But it is pretty radioactive. So, just a rock. But it's pretty radioactive. I mean, it's 200 to 10,000 CPM. These are some americium buttons from smoke detectors. We've got a small piece of plate. Then we've got two samples that I traded. I traded somebody some uranium glass for these two samples. We've got some thorium lantern mantles. Bought those on eBay. Here's another americium sample. Then this is all uranium glass that I got from pulling out of the woods. So that old trash dump that I've dug through a couple times, and I think I have a couple videos on it. All this uranium glass was from there, and this actually glows really nice under a black light as well. And it's not very radioactive. Like this piece here is 470 counts per minute. I think that's the most radioactive one I have in here, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's some of my radioactive sample collection. I've actually got some over here. These are radium watch hands, and I bought these on eBay for $10, I think, for this whole collection, which was awesome. And the guy actually had them he had them just displayed as glow-in-the-dark radium, glow-in-the-dark watch hands. He didn't have radium on them, so that's why I got such a good deal on them. So it was such a score, because usually these go for like $20 a piece, but since he didn't have them marked right, and I saw them and I was like, oh, those are radium watch hands, so I bought them. I normally wouldn't have bought radium watch hands just because, I mean, they're usually too expensive, but yeah, I actually bought this. And then I've got, what else do I have in here? I've got a bunch of temperature sensors. This is all my chemistry type stuff, so I've got test tubes and different chemicals in there and stuff. Not very many chemicals though, like from a chemistry kit mostly. Um, and then down here we've got some variacs and a hot plate and different stuff, mints, and then we've got some motherboards and power supplies and different stuff. An old MacBook Pro. And then we've got a bunch of big circuit boards down there that don't fit in the small circuit board box. We've got some junk there. We've got power supplies. We've got styrofoam for making lost styrofoam castings. We've got some projects up there like my Stirling engine. We've got a mini steam engine here. So this is a steam engine that I never showed on my YouTube channel. I meant to do a video on it, but I never did. It's more so just a prototype though. It was supposed to be a really simple steam engine, although it didn't work that well, so I need to revise it a bit. But yeah, it's a steam engine that I built. Different stuff up there. Not a lot. Yeah, just a mixture of stuff. Big box of fans. Yeah, I don't know. Wire and stuff and lots of stuff. Junk. Lots of junk everywhere. So let's see here. Let's see. We'll read some comments here. Get caught up here. See if anybody wants me to show anything more. Okay. Yes, I do want to build a pulse jet engine. That would be awesome. I really want to build one. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. And since I have access to a welder, I could build a pretty decent one. I think. Although, actually, Hack Pittsburgh has a TIG welder. The problem is they don't have the gas bottles and everything for it yet. So hopefully they'll be able to get the gas bottle soon, and then I could actually build like a stainless steel one. Although my neighbors would hate me because I kind of live in the city, so I don't know. Let's see. People are saying weird things. I don't know why. I already ran the internal combustion engine. It's all taken apart now. Yeah, you have to find the right dumpsters. Yeah, like colleges are pretty good for dumpster diving. Businesses that are especially R&D businesses that are going out of business, that's really good stuff in there. That's where you find the gold stuff. Let's see. My favorite Star Wars character? I don't know. I don't remember. I'm terrible with remembering movies. I don't remember the names of the characters anymore. I don't know. I thought the main. I don't remember. I'm so bad with movies. Sorry. But I thought it was a really good movie. Let's see. Yeah, I've built Jacob's ladders before. I have a video with the Jacob's ladder in it, I think. Oh, nice. Let's see. Oh yeah, I'm probably a little bit radioactive. But then again, you get potassium from bananas, which is radioactive. So I mean, I don't know. So not very much. I could actually turn on the Geiger counter and show you guys how radioactive it actually is. It's not like I have any nuclear fuel or anything like that. It's not that radioactive. They're not enriched or anything. None of these samples. Well, I guess the americium would be enriched. Well, I don't know. I don't know how that would work. But I mean, it's not that radioactive. Let's put it on. Let's get the camera. Where's the tripod? Hold this guy up. Okay. I don't know how this is gonna work. tripod over here for you guys, so you guys can see what the heck I'm doing, because that always helps, right? Sorry for the really bad camera work. This is hard doing this because I don't know. I don't usually do live streams, so like it's really weird. Because I usually get to have time to like set up the shots and everything. So let's put this on the chair. I guess that'll probably be the best option. Ouch. So there's the Geiger counter. Where'd the speaker go? So here's the speaker, and we've got it on 0.1 times right now. Let's put the speaker actually up by the camera so you guys can hear that. So like, the thorium lantern mantles are actually the most radioactive sample I have, and they're really not all that radioactive. So there you can see the needles going up, and you can't actually see that because the quality's not the greatest. Oh, maybe you can actually see that, I don't know. So right now that's with the shield open. So shield open, so we're getting 20,000 counts per minute with the shield open. I don't know why it's glitching. So 20,000 counts per minute right now, which if we close the shield, then we'll be able to actually get how many, like, what is this in? Millirem per hour. So we're getting, no, actually that would be 2,000 counts per minute, because this is on 0.1 times scale. So 2,000 counts per minute was what it was peaking at there. So right now, let's put it down to 0.01 times scale, and it's actually off the chart now. Let's go back down to the, or back up to the 0.1 scale and zero it out. So it's going up to, like, I don't know. So that would be 0.5 millirem per hour, or less than that actually. Not very much. Fairly non-radioactive. I mean, not that bad for you or anything. Because I mean, there's two different ways of looking at radiation. There's the linear no threshold, which is supported by, like, but it's not actually proven. It's only a theory. The other one is the radiation hormesis, however you say it, radiation hormesis or something like that, which basically says that so linear no threshold is the one that all the standards and everything go by, but it's not really been proven. It's basically what they did was they said, okay, at a huge amount of radiation, then it's bad for you. You get cancer, you die, and that's a known fact. If you get a lot of radiation, yes, you'll die. Same thing with sunshine. If you get a lot of sunshine, you'll get cancer. You'll get skin cancer. Your skin will fall off. So, but if you don't get any sun, so basically with the radiations, they said, okay, so we know that a lot of radiation is bad for you. That'll give you cancer. It'll kill you. So then they said, okay, so then that means that if you get zero radiation, that's the best thing. That's not necessarily true, because take, for example, sunlight. You know that a lot of sunlight is bad for you. So if they did the same thing with sunlight, then you wouldn't get any vitamin D, because you need some sunlight. So some sunlight is good for you, but a lot is bad for you, obviously, and none is bad for you. So you need that certain amount there. There's a balance. And I think the radiation hormesis says that basically the same thing. Some radiation is good for you. So if you have none, that's not real good. I mean, it's okay. And if you have a lot, it is bad for you. But there's somewhere in between where it's actually beneficial, because it basically kills some of your cells and basically makes your body repair them, and your body gets practice repairing them. So the damaged cells. So some radiation, I believe, is good for you. So you can see with the shield open, it's hardly picking anything up. Like this one, you're getting a little bit. So yeah, it's really not that much radiation. It's fairly non-radioactive, but yep. Oh, that was actually pretty active. But I think with the shield closed, it's like nothing. So it's mostly probably beta. beta particles. But yeah, so that's my radiation, my radioactive sample collection. Let's see, what else? Check see if there's more questions. Real quick here. Camera back on my computer. All right. If you missed anything, you can always go back and rewatch it. It should be live on my channel right after I'm done with this, I think. At least that's my understanding. Why do I have thorium? Why not? Because it's awesome. Actually, thorium lantern mantles are a lot brighter than the more modern type. So, but I don't actually have them on a lantern. I just wanted them because like it's awesome. I don't know. I like radioactive stuff. But no, I'm not gonna turn into radioactive Boy Scout. Although it would be pretty cool to make a nuclear reactor. So let's see. I'm not sure. Yeah, right. Alpha and beta aren't that bad for you. Alpha, like, alpha can be bad for you if it gets ingested, because then your like organs and things will get radiated that way. But if you just get like alpha particles are stopped by like a piece of paper, so it's very weak. Let's see. Yeah, I would love to work with Cody's lab. I love Cody's lab. He's my favorite YouTuber. The problem is he lives over in like Utah or something. I think it's Utah. So it's like, I don't know, that'd be like 10-hour drive. No, more than that. Maybe further than that. So sadly, I would love to meet him someday. Hopefully I will. That's definitely on my bucket list to meet Cody's lab because he's awesome. It'd be awesome to go in his mind too. I'd love to do that eventually, but yeah. What the internal combustion? So what is what's my favorite thing that I built? I would have to say my internal combustion engine, because it's probably, I don't know. It's just awesome. It was like, because this was the second time I had attempted it. The first one didn't work at all, and so this one, it was really exciting when it actually worked, and it just, because I'd been thinking about it for so long, and yeah, it was just so exciting when it actually worked. So I would say probably my internal combustion engine is my #1 favorite project, and then after that I would have to say, let's see, my backwards bike. I really like my backwards bike, which I don't have a video of that yet. I have a video. I have all the footage. I just need to sit down and edit it, but I have hours and hours and hours and hours of footage. So, so yeah, the backwards bike, that's pretty cool. If you watch Destin from Smarter Every Day, he has a video all about the backwards bike, and that's where I got the inspiration from, or part of the inspiration, but it's a long story. Let's see, what else? My steam engine, I really like my steam engine, and what else? What are my other favorite projects? I built a log cabin back in Virginia when I was, I guess I was 12 to 14. I built the log cabin. That was one of my favorite projects too. I loved sleeping in that. I've built a lot of tree houses. I've probably built about half a dozen tree houses or so. Because I built 1, 2, 3, 4 at a really old house. Then I built 2 more tree houses at our newer house in Virginia. And then I helped my dad build one here for the kids. But yeah, okay, let's see. Yeah, it'd be awesome if it'd be awesome if Cody smelted some ore from his mine. Although he actually kind of did, because he made mercury out of the cinnabar, which was not from his mine though. That was from just rocks on his property. That was pretty cool. Yeah, I have my driver's license. I'm 21. I've had it for a couple years now. And in one of my last videos, I actually changed the oil and everything on my car. So, yeah, I have a friend named Cody too. Sorry, I already did the engine. It's all taken apart now, Samuel. So yeah, sorry. So you'll have to rewatch the live stream once it's like uploaded to the channel. But yeah, I already ran it, and I already took it apart and everything. So, and I think actually you can probably go back while it's live right now. You can actually go back and rewatch parts of the stream if you want to. I think. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, and I can ride the backwards bike too. It took me 3 days and a total of 10 hours to learn how to ride the backwards bike. It was pretty frustrating, but I can ride it now. I can ride both. So at first, I was like, all right, I'm going to learn how to ride this bike. And so I basically went down to Hack Pittsburgh because I built it at Hack Pittsburgh, and I was just leaving at Hack Pittsburgh because the first bike I actually built, backwards bike, it actually wasn't mine. I helped a friend build it. And so I was like, I only had 3 days to learn how to ride it. And I was like, all right, I'm going to learn how to ride this bike. And so that's what I did. I practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced. And I finally got it. I guess it was the third day. I guess the second day was starting to click a little bit. I was like able to ride it maybe like 10 feet before I would fall over. And then the last day though, it snapped and I was able to ride it up and down the street. I was able to go and turn any way I wanted to. But if you took your mind off of riding it, then you would fall over. So like if I was like, okay, now I'm going too fast, I need to brake, then I would fall over. And the more I rode it, the better I got at it. So then the crazy thing is, it was so frustrating because once I got off of that, I went and tried a normal bike, and I couldn't ride a normal bike. It took me 20 minutes to relearn how to ride a normal bike, and then after that, I could ride both. So now I can get on my backwards bike, I can ride my backwards bike up the normal bike, and I can ride. Crazy thing is it was messing with my driving. I would, because I was going home from Hack Pittsburgh at like 3 in the morning after riding the bike for a while, and I would start like, what you do is you train your brain to, like, when you start tipping, to basically make the opposite of what you're supposed to do. So when you're driving at like 60 miles an hour, you start to feel like when you jerk the wheel one way, you feel the instant like jerk. So you do it the other way, and it just messes with your brain. It's so crazy. And I was finding myself swerving a little bit because it was messing with my brain so much. So let's see if there's any new comments here. Somebody talking about wait, I went too far down. ZVS driver. Yeah, I still have the ZVS driver. I haven't done anything with it lately. At some point I have I think it's a high voltage transformer from an X-ray machine. At some point I want to hook it up to that, and the problem is the X-ray machine, it would put out DC, but the diodes are all fried. So I need to bypass the diodes, and it's all full of oil, and it's a real big mess. So at some point I need to like take it apart and cut the diodes out of the circuit, or put new diodes in, and get that working, and then hook that up to the ZVS driver. But at some point I need to do that. Let's see. Oh, rotary engine? That would be really awesome, although that would be really hard to build a rotary engine. Like, the tolerances you would need, I would think, I don't know, it would be insane. I don't know, I don't even know how I'd attempt to build that. I would love to build a diesel engine, but even a diesel engine, I guess the next step that I'd want to do, first I want to build another two-stroke engine, making more readily available, or using more readily available parts, especially like not soldering as much stuff, because soldering and manufacturing little pieces like that, I guess I understand that that's kind of hard for a lot of people. So I want to make it a little bit simpler, and so that's kind of my goal, is to make a simpler engine than this one, and hopefully I'd be able to do that. military stuff is pretty cool. I actually have, no, it's not from, I have a really old transmitter, but it's like a radio transmitter, but it's not military spec, I don't think. It looks kind of military style though. It's like in this big metal can. It's pretty awesome. And it actually uses a vacuum tube as the transmitter transmitting. It's like a transmitter triode or something. I actually don't know a whole lot about vacuum tubes, but the Turbo Tim wants me to say his name. Okay. Yes, this is my first live stream. Although I've joined in other, I've like watched other people's live streams, but that's about it. I keep clicking down too far. Oh, okay, here I am. K-Man Meteor Productions, what kind of videos do you do? See, the problem is, I would love to do shout-outs to people. The problem is that if I did shout-outs to a couple of people, then everybody else wants me to do shout-outs, and if I do shout-outs for, like, 2,000 people, that doesn't exactly work. So, yeah, I could do, like, shout-outs to, like, I don't know. It's just too hard to do shout-outs anymore. Like, when my channel was small, it was easy to do shout-outs, but, like, I don't know. I have to, like, I don't know, it's just hard. I guess I don't mind doing a shout out in the live stream though. Yeah, sometimes I rewatch my old videos. Like if I want to remember what I did in a project or something, because I kind of do my YouTube channel as well as just kind of document stuff. But yeah. Well, it depends on what type of battery pack you want to bring back from the dead. I guess like I've done a little bit of trying to regenerate lead acid batteries, but I've not had that much success. Just kind of like charging them up, and then yeah, I don't know. I just haven't had very good success with trying to revive old batteries. Yeah, I did actually build a hydrogen generator for a science project probably about 8 years ago or so. So yeah, I have built a hydrogen generator, and it was a pure hydrogen generator. It didn't produce any oxygen. And the way I did that was I used aluminum plates, or actually I used aluminum heat sinks as the two electrodes. So what would happen is the oxygen would actually combine with the aluminum on the aluminum plate and create aluminum oxide, and then just hydrogen would bubble out on the other plate. So you'd only get hydrogen out, and then you could store it safely without having like this bag of an explosive mixture. So then you could have only hydrogen. Problem is, it just fills up after a while, your electrolyte tank just fills up with gunk, aluminum oxide. So yeah. But it did produce pure hydrogen, and it was kind of fun project. No, I didn't really research it that much. I watched a couple YouTube videos on the hydrogen generator before I built mine. Yeah, I've built solenoid engines before, but I didn't feel like they were, I don't know, good enough to get on the YouTube channel. Maybe, I don't know. Although no, that was before I had YouTube, I think. I have no idea how efficient the boiler was. Probably not very efficient. I mean, like you could hold your hand above the exhaust, so I guess it was pretty efficient, but I don't know. I want to make a monotube boiler, and I'm actually like part of the way done with the monotube boiler, but I haven't like finished the firebox around it yet. I just have like a coil of copper tube and some insulation and stuff, but I actually build a burner for it. The hard part with a monotube boiler, though, is regulating the amount of water that goes into the monotube boiler. So if you put too much water in, it cools down the boiler too much, and then you don't get any steam. But if you don't put enough in, you have to get this balance. And I guess is it the white steam car? They had a mechanism that would regulate the amount of water going in, like, and there was so many different, there was temperature, and it was all mechanical. It was amazing. But I think I could do it all with like an Arduino. But problem is, again, I'm not very good at programming. So yeah, fix it in software. They said it'll be easy. They said no, not at all. um, but yeah. The coal, I get it from my grandma's house because she has a wood burning, like, wood stove, an outdoor wood burner, and my dad suggests, because she was burning, so my grandpa, before he died, he loved doing um, just chop it, because he had a lot of land, and well, my grandma still owns the land, and she lives on it. But so he was a forester, so he liked chopping down the trees, and then the old trees, and cutting firewood and everything like that, and processing it, and then burning the wood. But the problem is she can't keep up with it, and she has to pay people to cut the wood for her, because, well, the other option would be propane, which is really expensive where she lives. So the best option really is for wood. So my dad suggested, why not she try coal, but she didn't like the coal for some reason. I don't know why. So she has a coal pile that I get it from. But before that, I got the coal from an old coal mine that was basically almost under my house. So like up the hill from my house, all underneath of the hill, there's a big coal mine that was there. I think it closed in 18. No, I forget when it closed. Maybe nine. I'm not. I don't want to. Let me see. I could actually tell you exactly when it closed. Where is that? There you go. Gotta find the website. I bookmarked it somewhere. I think it closed in 1904. I could be wrong about that, but yeah, it closed in like 1904. And so that's where I originally got my coal, but there's not a whole lot of coal. It's just from the coal tailing piles, and a lot of it has shale mixed in with it. So, and then actually up along the road, there's also the coal seam is exposed. So I could get coal from there too, but I don't want to get like, I don't want the cops to come after me for stealing coal off of somebody else's property. Although it's probably public land because it's along the road. So I technically could get coal from it. And I actually have, I'll link the video here, the coal mine video. And you can see actually where the coal mine, where I could get coal from if I wanted to. Here, I'll link it right in the comments here. You guys could go. That's the coal video where I found the coal mine. Comments keep going down. Yeah, I built the hydrogen generator. No, probably before. Yeah, I guess when I was about 15, something like that. I don't have a lathe. Harbor Freight lathes are cheap. They're like $300. So I mean, if that's all you have, that would be pretty good lathe. But it's not going to be a high precision lathe. I mean, although on the other hand, okay, so it's not going to be a high quality lathe. It won't last all that long. It's going to be janky, but it's a lathe. A lathe is better than like a Harbor Freight lathe is better than no lathe. So if that's all you can afford, then that's a good lathe. But and the thing is with lathes and machine tools like that, the precision is not necessarily based on, like, if the machine is not rigid, then yes, it's not going to be precise. But with the lathe, you can get pretty high precision if you have good feel with the if you're a good machinist, you can get pretty precise parts on a fairly cheap lathe. The other idea would be to buy one on Craigslist. because you can find some pretty nice lathes on there for fairly cheap. So like the one at Hack Pittsburgh that I use is an Atlas lathe that's over 100 years old. No, it's like 60 or 70 years old. It's an Atlas lathe, one with the open pulleys on top and everything. It's a pretty awesome lathe, and I helped restore it because it was in really bad condition when I joined Hack Pittsburgh. Hack Pittsburgh, by the way, is a makerspace, or it's a hackerspace. There's a difference between hackerspaces and makerspaces. If you've never heard of a makerspace or a hackerspace, it's essentially, imagine a gym, except instead of having workout equipment, they have machine tools there and routers and laser cutters and 3D printers. So you pay a $30 well, at least Hack Pittsburgh, you pay a $30 membership. The first month is just an introductory period where you kind of want to, because we're based on community, so we want everybody to get to know other people, and we don't just, like, a makerspace is more so you pay a larger fee, and, well, I don't know, there's a bunch of different things. I'm thinking of Tech Shop. Tech Shop is different. They don't have much community as much as we do. Hack Pittsburgh has a lot more community, and so like people will just go there and hang out, have a beer or whatever, and work on projects, and there's always people there. It's awesome. But yeah, it's basically you pay $30 a month membership to get access to tools that you wouldn't normally have access to, and it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it because there's so many people like me there, and it's a lot of fun. And actually, the people that I was doing the bronze casting with the other day, those Alex and Joel, they're from Hack Pittsburgh. That's how I know them. So let's see. Well, so somebody's asking, when people like ask me to build a project, I usually don't have that much motivation to build it, just because it's not like something that I'm like, oh, this would be really cool. Now, like sometimes I'll read the comments from somebody who'll suggest something like I think the ZVS driver. I think that was a comment that somebody, maybe they were like, hey, you should build a ZVS driver, or no, Slayer Excited Tesla coils. That's what it was. Somebody was like, hey, you should check out Slayer Excited Tesla coils, and I was like, oh, that's cool. So then I was like, oh, this is really cool, and I kept watching more videos on it, and I was like, dang, I need to build one of these. So then I built one. But sometimes I don't stay very motivated on projects, and like yeah, it's just hard sometimes. You just have to, I don't know. Yeah, I could show you I'm still way up here in the comments. This is the circuit. I don't have the circuit diagram. I don't have the circuit diagram for it, sadly. But I can show it here. I'll have to draw the schematic sometime and post it on Google Plus or something. But this is the circuit I have, and it's on a breadboard. So essentially, this is the Hall effect sensor over here. The Hall effect sensor needs 5 volts and ground in order to operate. And then you have this white pin here, which is the signal that comes out of it. So when the magnet passes, it basically either it goes high or goes low. I don't remember which. Then it goes into this transistor here. It's biased by a couple of resistors. Goes into this small transistor here. It's an NPN transistor, and that is an invert. It basically inverts the signal. So if it's a high here, it turns it into a low, I think. And then that signal is fed into a MOSFET here. There's a couple more biasing resistors. This LED for just indicating when it's actually firing. So here's a MOSFET that is triggered by the transistor. And then we have here, this other guy is just a diode, a high-speed like switching diode, not switching diode, it's a, I forget what kind of Scotchy diode or something. I don't remember what kind of diode it is. But it's a high voltage, ultra fast recovery diode or something. So that diode is hooked in series with the MOSFET just to protect it from back EMF. So the spike, because MOSFETs tend to be fairly sensitive. You can blow up the gates on MOSFETs very easily with high voltage. So that protects it from the high voltage spikes from the from the ignition coil. So I just have an ignition coil that I bought at scrapyard for $5, and that's all the circuit is. You could probably do a pretty simple circuit with like an Arduino or something, but again, programming is not my thing. All right, let me catch up in the comments here real quick. Yeah, I built the hydrogen generator when I was like 15 or something like that. My most popular video, I think, is either aluminum casting, one of my aluminum casting videos, or the free energy, the April Fool's free energy video. That one did pretty well. But yeah. So the timing for the engine is just the little Hall effect sensor. It's on a piece of copper wire, and I can move it like to advance the timing or retard the timing and get it just right. And there's a little magnet that's just glued on the flywheel. I never really thought about who's my favorite inventor. I really like Nikola Tesla. I also like Edison. George Westinghouse is awesome. Because George Westinghouse made like a huge well, he's not. Yeah, he's an inventor. Yeah, because he did a lot of rail brake stuff, and he invented the natural gas distribution system. So he changed a lot of people's lives. He's one of the most influential people, I think. But Nikola Tesla, he's also although Nikola Tesla probably couldn't have got his projects out without Westinghouse. So Westinghouse is extremely important as well. So yeah. I drive a Volkswagen Golf 2001. And yeah, mine has a manual 5-speed. I love manuals. Oh, cool! I love boxers. Well, I don't have one, but I have a friend who has one. they don't have very much vibration, which is cool. Yeah, I've got some microwave oven transformer cores. Another lathe is, yeah, somebody's mentioning a Shoreline lathe. Those are also good, and I forget how you say it, TIG lathes or something like that, however you say it. TIG lathes are pretty good too if you want just a mini lathe. Much better than, so the way to do that is to buy all the pieces individually. You can build a lathe for like, I'm gonna say like $700. You can get pretty much everything you would need. And so I had thought about getting one of those at one point, but now that we fixed up the lathe at Hack Pittsburgh, I don't really need that anymore. So I just go down to Hack Pittsburgh. Yes. So yeah, so that's part of the point of joining Hack Pittsburgh or Makerspaces, to be able to tap into some of the skills of other people, and you share your skills back with the other members. So like I'll bring in my internal combustion engine sometimes, and people are like, "Whoa, how'd you build that?" And I'll tell them all about how I built it, and it's really awesome how like, yeah. Yeah, some of my old videos I cringe a bit when I watch them. I'm like, oh my, what was I saying? But yeah. Um, so the motor just gets the high voltage spark from the ignition coil. So it's just a transformer it would have been used in an old car. This is the ignition coil transformer. So it's basically just a transformer. It's on the primer. It's got like, I don't know, a couple hundred turns maybe. And then on the secondary, it's got like thousands of turns of wire, and it's just an iron core in there. And you basically, if you put a big spike of voltage in here, or a high current into the input, you get a nice big arc out of here. And that's what drives the spark plug. It says Chev on here, so must have come from a Chevy maybe? I don't know. It was like $5. I talked him down on it. He wanted like $10 for it. I was like, I'm not paying $10 for a really rusty old Because I mean, you could buy like a new one for like $15. So, some people are asking if I have ADHD. I don't know. I might. I've never been tested for it, so doesn't matter. I don't know. Let's see what else. My name is Joachim. Joachim. I'll put it in the comments if you guys, because it's a hard name to pronounce. Please say it Joachim. Yeah, I'm way behind in the comments here. I'll give you all. Somebody's asking me to give you all a thumbs up, so here's a big thumbs up. But yeah, so yeah, the internal combustion engine does have a cooling system. Oh yeah, right. I was gonna take apart the water pump for you guys. I forgot about that. Totally forgot. Oh, thanks. Let's see. So yeah, I'll take apart the water pump for you guys because I said I was going to do that, but I totally forgot because I got carried away with a blabbing away. So the water pump, right? So again, the water pump is made without a machine shop, just in my garage. Oh, there's stuff spilling everywhere. Oh dear. Alright, so let's get a screwdriver out here. I don't know if you guys can actually see anything at all. Hopefully. Okay. I'll just take the radiator off so it's out of the way. Well, yeah, because we're going to have to drain the water out of it anyways. So... And there will eventually be a video on doing cooling on my engine. I also will be, there's a lot of videos I still have to do. I have like footage for most of them, but the problem is there's other videos that I need to get done first. So with backlog, and I just need to sit my butt down and edit videos sometime. Edit more videos. So yeah, it's a problem. It's an ongoing problem. It just doesn't end. That's not gonna work. That's actually not going to work very good. Looks like there's some galvanic corrosion going inside of here. Probably because the water pump is steel and copper, so not the best combination of metals. But yeah, here's the little radiator and fan. So, yep. I just took the fan apart and then pounded the original shaft out and put a longer shaft in so I could put this pulley on here. And this pulley actually did make on the lathe. So there's actually two parts on this engine that I made on a lathe. But they're not exactly essential that they're made on a lathe. You could make them not on a lathe easily. And we got the water reservoir there. And let's screw the water pump off here. Let me move some stuff off the chair over here so I can sit my butt down. Okay. So, water. Alright, so here's the water pump. So it's basically, let me grab some. Okay, so the water pump is essentially made out of motors. So what I did is motors have a nice little bronze bushing here, and I figured that would make a pretty good seal to keep the water in. So what I did is I took 2 motors and cut them apart and used those bronze bushings as seals. Now this one here, it actually didn't seal as well as I thought it would. So what I had to do was put a piece of rubber on there, and that kind of stops most of the water from leaking out. And as long as you put a good bit of grease on there, it tends to stay pretty sealed. So those are 2 motor ends, and then it's rusting on the bottom very badly because it looks like it was leaking. So then I've got a little pulley on there, and this is a round copper disc that I put on my I drilled a hole in the center of the piece of metal that I got pretty round, and then I basically put a bolt in that hole in the middle, and then spun it on the drill and held a file to it, and that's how I got it so round. So, yep, that's how you make stuff round without like a lathe, is you put it in a drill with a bolt in the middle, or you attach a bolt in the middle and then you spin it up in your drill and hold a file to it, and you've got a round part. Sometimes, if you're not careful, it will produce like an oval shape, but usually if you do it carefully, you can make a pretty perfect circle. So yeah, it just takes a while sometimes, especially with like copper because it gums up files a lot. But yeah, so there's 5 screws around the perimeter of it that just come out. And you guys probably can't see, my hands are in the way. And then here is the back plate, or the front plate of it. We've got another piece of this cork, like gasket material, and that's the copper disc. And then here's the water pump. So we've got our volute here, which is made out of a piece of copper pipe that I cut, and then I basically bent into that shape of a volute. I used lots of solder to solder this piece of pipe on here, and then so that's the volute, which basically focuses the water all to the outlet. And then here we've got the little impeller, which is basically a little disc of copper, a copper sheet, like, I don't know, it's really thin stuff. And then there's 4 little squares of copper that I cut out of a copper sheet and soldered it all together on a little piece of brass that I drilled a hole in the middle of. So no machine shop, just a little tiny impeller. It's such a cute little pump. But yeah, and then we've got another gasket on the other side. So yeah, so that just goes on there. It spins and pumps the water. Pretty simple. Took a lot of work to build it, but I think I mostly built it in one day. Because the thing with solder is you don't have to wait for glue to dry. Like if I did this with JB Weld, I could do it with JB Weld, but the problem is it would take forever for the JB Weld to dry. So I could like do the impeller, and then I have to wait 24 hours for it to dry, and then I could like, it'd just be a pain. So soldering is like the best thing, because you solder it and then you wait like a couple minutes for it to cool, or you spray some water on it, cool, and it's done, and it's strong, and it's, yeah, it's awesome. I love soldering stuff. Yeah, you can see it's been rusting. I should put like some actual like coolant in it so it doesn't rust. I should take some coolant from my Volkswagen because I've got a bunch of extra after doing a coolant change. But yeah, so that's the water pump. Let me see if you guys see if you have any questions about it. Put the camera back on the computer here. All right, back to the questions. So there's the water pump. No, there's no plan. Well, I mean, there are plans to my internal combustion engine. It's basically a series of videos, which isn't exactly finished yet. So I still need to finish that series of videos. So, I mean, it is kind of plans. It's like, it's not exactly plans. It's more like how I did it, how I built my internal combustion engine. And it's more like a guide, like just tips and tricks and how I did it. So it's not exactly, it's not plans, but it's very loose plans. So, I mean, if you ever have questions about it, post it in the comments or email me. If you have specific questions, email me, okay? On my channel, if you go under About, my email address is there. So if you have any specific questions, email me. Sometimes I'm slow to reply, but hopefully I'll get back to you at some point. So, yeah. Let's see. Do 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 do. Pittsburgh is in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Here, I'll send the link if you guys want to check it out. This is Hack Pittsburgh. My Sterling engines. The one up on top of the filing cabinet still works. I think the one that I have, my bigger one that produced 2 watts, I think that one, the displacer I think it rusted through because water was stuck in the water jacket, and I think it rusted through. I would have to look at it, but I'm pretty sure it rusted through. So I'd probably have to rebuild, fix that one up before I could get it running again. Although I don't know if I really want to fix it up. I think I just, like the one up there, that one's very reliable and that one runs really well. And I just want to leave that one as is. At some point, I want to build another Sterling engine, though. I just haven't had time lately, and I think I would probably put priority on it, another internal combustion engine, because I have that really pieced out in my mind exactly how I do it, because I've been thinking about it a lot lately. I've been thinking about it a lot lately. Oops. No, thanks. People are saying it's a cute little pump. Thanks. Is it a vane pump or is it an impeller pump? I don't know. Somebody has a racing mower as a profile picture. Nice. Huh. That's interesting. What is on the very top of the shelf behind me? Well, I'm not sure exactly which you're talking about. So right, let me see here. So on the shelf there's, right, this is my Sterling engine here, my old one that I built a long time ago. We've got a steam engine over here. This is the the firebox for my Sterling engine. And then this is my exhaust fan, so for ventilation for my internal combustion engine and stuff like that. And then those are a bunch of supercapacitors back there. And then the purple thing is actually a Starship coil I was experimenting with that a while ago, but it didn't really do anything interesting, so I just kind of scrapped that project and put it on the shelf. Although actually you can't see that. Here, so this is a Starship coil, something like that. It was something I found a YouTube video of. Apparently it's supposed to have, it's supposed to not have one magnetic field. It's only supposed to, or it's supposed to make a diamagnetic, or what would it be? A monomagnetic field or something, where it essentially is supposed to collapse one of the magnetic fields in the middle. And I was like, really? So I wanted to build one and try it. I didn't have any success with it. I don't know. I mean, I didn't use that many turns of wire. I didn't even use magnet wire. It really didn't do much. It was just something cool I wanted to try, and it looks kind of cool too. I thought about making a clock out of it actually after I built it, and it didn't work. So, Starship coil. Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's see. No, I have not played any sports. I mean, I play like football and stuff with my cousins when we go over to their house sometimes, or soccer or baseball, but that's it. I've never actually played sports because I was homeschooled, so I never had a chance to, and nor did I really have the interest to. Um, like, I don't know, I just don't, sports don't interest me at all. So yeah. Um, I don't know. Maybe there'll be another Sterling engine at some point. Hopefully. We'll see. Um, Somebody's asking what happened to your induction heater? Could you melt bronze with it? I still have the induction heater, and see, the problem with melting stuff with an induction heater, at least a homemade induction heater, is that as the metal heats up, the resistance increases, and then the induction heater isn't efficient anymore, so you can't pump as much heat into it. So bringing a metal up to its melting point is fairly hard with an induction heater, at least a homemade one, because you have to like constantly change the frequency and increase the power, and it's kind of hard. Um, so it's possible, and there's lots of people have done it, but I don't know. I just think that heating elements are a little bit more efficient at it, because because with an induction heater you're wasting a lot of power on um, essentially the MOSFETs are wasting a lot of power, so you're only getting like probably like 75% of the power actually is heating up the metal. But when you have heating elements, 100% of that metal is actually, or 100% of that heat energy, 100% of that electricity is going into heating up those heating elements and actually heating up your metal, as long as you have good insulation. So I feel like heating elements is more efficient than induction heater. Induction heater, though, is good if you need to like heat up a little spot on like a piece of metal or something. Um, I don't really have the Sterling engine set up to work right now, but I have videos way back, way back, and I also have a couple playlists. I have a playlist about my Sterling engines, so if you want to see them running, go to playlists, and then you should find the Sterling engine playlist, and you can like watch like all of them if you want to or whatever. Um, No, I don't have a master degree in any engineering or anything. I am a junior right now at Penn State, so I still have a couple more years to go. Um, and I don't enjoy school that much. But yeah, so no, I don't have any degrees yet. Um, I don't have a favorite team. I don't really have any favorite sports teams, so yeah. Oh, cool. Someone else is homeschooled. Homeschoolers are awesome. uh, yeah, I'm mechanically inclined, I guess. um, but yeah. No, I'm not on the chair. I'm sitting on a bucket because it's at the right height. I don't know. My butt is actually kind of sore. um, TMI, right? Let's see. PT100 and Arduino? I'm not sure. What? I'm confused. Um, what is the poster on the wall? That poster over there is the electromagnetic spectrum. I pulled that out of a dumpster. So yeah, it's got like all of the so on the end down over here, it starts out at like uh 60 hertz and then works up to like yeah, power and telephone, and then it works up to radio waves and microwaves and infrared, ultraviolet, X-rays, and then gamma rays. So it's just the whole electromagnetic spectrum. So it's kind of cool. Pulled it out of a dumpster. I love dumpster diving. What else? I'm not sure what I want to do with my degree. Hopefully something hands-on. I don't want to be in a cube farm, basically. So that's why I went with MET versus like that's why I went with mechanical engineering technology versus mechanical engineering, because I feel like going into the becoming a mechanical engineer would have a pretty high chance of me being in a cube farm or finding a job that'd be like the only job I could find. But if I'm a mechanical engineering technology, hopefully I'd be able to get a more hands-on job, and that's what I'm hoping to get. So I want something where I'm actually like a technician or I don't know, something like that. So that's what I'm hoping. Um, doo doo. And I did say this before, but my favorite YouTubers are Cody's Lab. Um, let's see, what would be my second? I like lately. I've been watching a lot of 3D Machines. He's pretty cool. I like him a lot. Um, let's see, who else do I watch? I like AVE. He's awesome. Um, and I quote a bunch of things from him actually. As well as let's see, who else do I watch? Um, ClickSpring. I love ClickSpring. That's like awesome stuff there. Um, I watched a little bit of Wrangler Star. Um, who else? And then most of the time I'm just like watching random like like steam engine, internal combustion engine videos on YouTube. So I don't tend to like subscribe to a lot of those people, but well, it depends. Like sometimes I'll subscribe to them, but I usually don't like I usually just kind of browse through YouTube and watch random videos. So I mean, yeah. Generally I don't find myself on the like the cat section of YouTube and stuff like that, and more on the like technical side of YouTube, like watching aluminum casting videos and stuff like that. Um, or sometimes I'll watch like Linus Tech Tips or something like that. But yeah, um, let's see. I live in the U.S. Somebody's asking what country I live in. Doo -doo -doo. Oh yeah, I guess you could use an Arduino to control the induction heater. Although I don't know if it would go. Does an Arduino go to a high enough frequency? I'm not sure if it goes to a high enough frequency to control to do an induction heater. I'm not sure about that. Um, the other thing that I'd be scared of is blowing up my Arduino, but I don't know. Yeah, I'd love to meet some of you guys too. That'd be awesome. But yeah, if you live in the area, definitely you could come to Hack Pittsburgh at some time. Just like email me or message me on my Instagram, or you could message me through Google Plus. Trying to think how else you can message me. Um, but like just like probably email is like the email or Instagram is like the fastest way to contact me. But yeah, if you want to like meet up in like Hack Pittsburgh or something like that, that'd be really cool. Um, Likewise, I'm gonna be at Cabin Fever in 1 week actually. It's next weekend is Cabin Fever Expo, which is in Lebanon, PA. So or maybe it's Bethlehem, PA. I don't remember. But yeah, it's over. Uh, I guess mid-state Pennsylvania. So if any of you guys live over in that area, definitely come to Cabin Fever. It's awesome. I think it's like $15 to get in for the day or something like that, or maybe that's $15 for the weekend. But I'm gonna have a table there with my internal combustion engine, my steam engine, probably my Stirling engine, um, probably a couple other projects as well. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to bring in. I need to figure that out because I'm going back to school Monday, and then I have 1 week, and then I'm coming back home. Yeah, so we'll see. But yeah, if you guys do want to meet up or something, just like email me, and I'd love to like meet some of you guys or something. Um, so yeah. Doo, doo, doo. Someone says skookum choocher. Sounds like something AVE would say. Oh, other people like 3D machines. Yeah, I watched King of Random, although I don't think I'm subscribed to him. I just watch some of his videos once in a while. Mostly his aluminum casting videos, and like, yeah, that's the main ones I watch. But in my opinion, his videos are too production. Like, they're too perfect. Like, he doesn't show his mistakes. In my opinion, you need to show some of your mistakes so that other people don't make the exact same mistakes. Because, like, if you just show all of the successes, people are like, wow, that looks easy. And then they try it and they do all these major mistakes and they're like, wow, I didn't know it's this hard. So I feel like it's best to show a lot of mistakes in your videos. Like, a lot of people don't agree with that, but I feel like it's important to show mistakes. Like, I feel like it's important to show your crucible melting through and spilling on the ground. And I feel like it's important to show those kind of things because then other people will see, okay, yeah, a steel crucible that isn't going to last very long, and especially if you get it too hot. Things like that. I think you need to show your mistakes. Um, so yeah, but yeah, I do watch some Grant Thompson. Um, oh yeah, I've seen your water pump rig on your channel before, Josh. Um, Yeah, I've watched Rimstar Org before. He's a really cool YouTuber. Um, his explanations of how things work are really awesome. He does a really good job. Oh, and I also watch some Destin from Smarter Everyday videos as well. Um, doo doo doo. Yeah, that's true. Arduinos are cheap. The problem is I don't know how to program them very well. Like I know how to blink an LED. That's about it. That's about all I can do with an Arduino. And even that like takes me a while to figure out. I usually just like copy a sketch from the internet and then I'm like, "Oh, that's how it works. Awesome." So yeah, Arduinos and software is not exactly my thing. So like I can figure out how to do stuff on my computer and like I built a Minecraft server for my brother, but I mean like but it was mostly off of tutorials. So like making my own original stuff with software, not exactly the easiest thing for me to do. um, I rather fix it outside of software, not in software. Um, yeah, I've watched some My Ford Boy videos as well. My Ford Boy, I think that's how you say it. I don't know. Yeah, actually, I am watching. I am actually wearing the Cabin Fever T-shirt right now. So, um, oh, I live in Pennsylvania. Hmm. Yeah, you could definitely cast some rocket parts out of aluminum, although I don't know how long they would last. Not sure, because usually like the disposable rocket motors they have like a clay plug, so I imagine that could withstand a good bit of temperature. I guess aluminum would be fine as long as it's not going to be burning for a long time. But yeah, I think that'd be fine because it would also conduct the heat away pretty quick, so that would actually work pretty good. But yeah, you could totally cast some parts for a rocket motor out of aluminum. Um, so the coal furnace is basically it has a blower that is usually like off to the side, and it blows into a piece of iron pipe that has a whole bunch of holes in it that's buried under the ground. And well, the holes are above the ground, and so all the air blows out of those holes, and basically just superheats it makes the coal burn really fast and makes it really hot, and that's how you melt the metal. So pretty simple. Um, let's see. Someone says they're in Florida and it's storming right now. I hope it's not storming too bad. Hope your power doesn't go out because then you won't be able to you won't be able to finish the live stream. Holy cow, we've been in here for 3 hours. How do I get my aluminum? I get it from like dumpster diving, taking stuff apart. Um, a lot of my aluminum ingots are actually from like lawn chairs and aluminum from um, screen doors and door frames and stuff like that because they're a pretty good supply of aluminum and you can just find them along the street and stuff. So like you just find some storm doors or something and you can melt down the frames because they're pretty good aluminum. Now, it's not very good aluminum for casting, but it works all right. Another great source for aluminum is like small engines and stuff. You could go to like the scrapyard and buy like an engine and chop it up and use that, like an aluminum engine block. Like a lot of lawnmower engines or weed whacker engines are aluminum because it's cast. Usually, that's the kind of alloy you actually want to be casting is stuff that's already been cast because then it's already going to have flux in it. If you use stuff like screen doors, it's like almost 100% aluminum, and when you have that, like that kind of aluminum is extruded, which isn't great for casting. So you want to get stuff that's already been cast. So like hard drives, the body part, like there's a hard drives are mounted on a big chunk of aluminum. Those are really good for melting down because it's actually been cast before, so it's actually really good stuff. Pop cans are not very good though, because you have to melt down like, I don't know, 100 of them, like 200, 300, 500, something like that to get like a pound of aluminum. So you're sitting there all day breathing this nasty smoke, feeding cans into this fire, and it's just to get a small amount of aluminum. It's not worth it, in my opinion. So I mean, pop cans are a good source if you don't have anything else, but personally, I don't use pop cans. I've never used pop cans because I've got other sources. But now if I didn't have the other sources, sure, I'd use pop cans. I mean, it would work fine. Yeah, I've watched my Ford Boy. I don't know how you say it. I always say stuff wrong. I've not watched David Richards though. Oh yeah. The steam powered machine shop. Yeah, I've watched that guy. He's awesome. I love that guy. He doesn't post enough videos though. Let's see. I keep clicking the wrong thing. Why is it doing this? Let's see. Yeah, it's blocking the. There we go. Technical difficulties. Where's the scroll? The scroll thing went away. Oh, whatever. Okay. Is that a new video? Somebody says Cody's lab extracted aluminum from dirt. I'm trying to remember when he did that. Oh yeah, that was a recent video. Yeah, I remember that now. Cool. Yeah, that was an awesome video. Yeah, and buying junk from the scrapyard is a good way to get stuff. Yeah, wrecked car rims are great. Those are really high quality aluminum as well. And the type of coal I use is probably bituminous. I think it's bituminous because it's not anthracite. Anthracite's the really hard stuff. This is a little bit softer, so. Let's see. My scroll, my on the comments, it went away. I don't know why. Maybe, I don't know. That's weird. Something got messed up with the comments. Oh, here we go. Okay. Yeah, I've thought about making a chainsaw powered bike. That would be really cool. I do have a couple old weed whackers that I've been thinking about trying to put on a bike, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. I'd actually probably rather make an electric bike because it's like quiet and I love bike riding, although I don't get to do it all that much. But with electric bike, it's so quiet, so you can actually still like hear the wind and everything. And I don't know, it's just I think I'd rather build an electric bike. But yeah, plus electric bikes, like, they can be pretty gutless. Like if you put like a 6 kilowatt motor on it, like from a model airplane or something, like a model airplane motor, those things are gutless. Those will go. Like even a DC motor, those can be even more gutless. Like if you get a couple kilowatt, like I don't know, power floor sweeper motor or something. Those things are powerful. They're not as efficient though. The brushless are more efficient, but I don't know. I think I would go to an electric bike versus like a chainsaw powered bike just because it's um, I don't know, cheaper and well, not cheaper, but the it wouldn't burn much gas. It would just be it'd be more fun, I think, to ride around because it'd be quiet. But I don't know. It'd be a project I want to do eventually. Um, I am at school. What kind of projects do I do? I don't really have. I like take boxes of stuff with me, so I do work on like little projects, but not much. But at like I am a member of the Super Mileage Club, so they have super mileage club at Penn State, and a super mileage club is basically a team that they're trying to get. They build a car from like scratch to get thousands of miles per gallon, and I think their record is like 2,000 some miles per gallon, which is insane. And they have this little tiny bottle of fuel in there, and so well, they used to use a Briggs and Stratton engine, and you would modify it and try to get super high mileages. And then now they're using a Honda engine, and what they have, so it's actually it's like um, a 6 horsepower Honda engine, and what they did is they took the cylinder off of it and they put a tiny little cylinder about this big. So it's a cylinder about that big, and then they took that off and put a little tiny cylinder and piston in about that big around. It just looks so awkward, but it has a really high compression ratio, and this year they're working on doing an EFI, which is electronic fuel injection, and I've been helping them out with that a little bit. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. There's some pretty cool kids there. So yeah, but that's one of the things I enjoy at Penn State. I also enjoy the outdoors club at Penn State. It's a lot of fun. Um, Oh yeah, you don't want to get magnesium rings. Those will catch on fire and you won't be able to put it out. Metal fires are really hard to put out. You don't want to do that because even if you pour water on a metal fire, the burning metal, because it wants oxygen so bad, it will actually pull oxygen out of the water and keep burning. So water doesn't put out metal fire. So you don't want to start a magnesium fire. And the way to actually identify magnesium, actually, I'll show you. So this is actually magnesium right here. This is from like a chassis. Often like phone case. So these things here are magnesium. Magnesium is very light and it usually has this kind of like gray color to it. So this is actually a computer chassis, a piece from a computer chassis. It's very light. Might have been from a MacBook or something. No, it's not from MacBook. It's from something else. ThinkPad maybe. This is from like I don't remember what it was from. But anyways, what you do to figure out if it's magnesium or not, it's a really easy test. You take something like a screwdriver and scratch it to get the oxide off in a spot. Then what you do is you take vinegar, just normal vinegar, and you put some vinegar on that spot. And if it starts fizzing, then it's magnesium. If it's not fizzing, then it's something else. Or it might be an alloy. So let's see if you guys can see that. Oops, and it's dripping on my computer. So it's fizzing there. So that means that's magnesium. And you don't want to melt that down. Unless you like melt it down under argon or something like that. I don't think that would be very fun. But yeah, if that caught on fire, that would not be fun at all. Because it burns so bright and it's so hard to put out. So yeah. But yeah, that's magnesium. So you identify it by putting vinegar on it. And if it bubbles, fizzes, and I think it actually puts off hydrogen. If I might be mistaken on that, but I think it's hydrogen. I'm gonna get this vinegar off my computer. Let's see. And rims are probably an alloy of magnesium and aluminum, and I think an alloy would probably be fine, but you don't want too much magnesium in it. If it doesn't pass the vinegar test, then don't melt it down. It'll burn, and you will not be too happy. You will not have a nice day. Let's see. I don't have a Patreon. Should I get a Patreon? Yeah, I've watched some Rhino Super Genius videos as well. And yeah, he has an electric bike. It's pretty cool. And his old electric lawnmower videos that made him famous. um, I've thought about getting. My dad's thought about getting a 3D printer, but not. I haven't really thought about it. I could actually. There's actually a chassis at Hack Pittsburgh right now that somebody's throwing out, so I could technically get that and build my own 3D printer, but I've only 3D printed one thing, and I wasn't too impressed by it. So I would definitely in a heartbeat build a CNC mill versus a 3D printer, just because I don't feel like 3D printers are quite at that stage yet where it's, I don't know. For me, I don't work with plastic much. I work with metal. I like metal, but yeah. Although I don't particularly like metal music. I like metal. Uh, but yeah. Um, to No, I've never heard of cars and cameras before. I don't think. Um, I'm assuming somebody is asking, could you figure out how many mpg your engine gets? I'm not sure if are you talking about my car or my my homemade internal combustion engine. My car gets about 28, 29 miles to the gallon. I've gotten 30. Um, my internal combustion engine gets, what was it? It's 1 gram. It burns about 1 gram of fuel per minute. So it's not particularly efficient. It burns a lot of fuel actually. Very rich mixture. But yeah. Um, hmm, yeah, I could do more streams or do streams more often. This is a lot of fun. I enjoy this. Um, cause like the comments are nice, but like I don't know. Sometimes I feel disconnected because um, it's not like a lot of people don't respond to comments, and like I'll reply to comments, but then I don't know if they actually ever receive them. So I'm not sure if it's YouTube's fault or whether people just don't check their like replies. But I just feel like I don't know if actually people are like, because like I put a lot of time into replying to the comments, and then I don't know if people actually get them. So sometimes I kind of feel a little bit disconnected. But yeah. Um, Yeah, I actually have been wanting to do lost plastic casting with a 3D printer. I've been wanting to try that out. I just haven't gone around to it yet. The other thing is then I have to design it in CAD, which again, software. But although I took a last semester, fall semester, I took a CAD class. So now I actually know how to use CAD software. So I could actually design stuff in CAD now pretty quickly, and because before I was using like Google SketchUp and stuff like that, and it doesn't work that great. It works okay, but I mean, it's not the best software. Um, so now I actually know how to somewhat use um, graphics modeling software, and I'm actually taking graphics modeling 2 this semester, so I'm gonna get better at it, and hopefully I'll be able to design some stuff and 3D print them, or use a CNC router, stuff like that, and hopefully be able to cast some 3D printed parts and stuff like that. That'll be a lot of fun. I would definitely want to do that eventually. It's on my list of things to do, pretty high up there actually. Because it's actually a pretty easy thing to do. You design it in CAD, you 3D print it, you cast it in plaster, or you cast plaster around it, or the investment, and then you melt it out or burn it out, and then you pour the metal in. So it's really a very simple process. It's not like you have to carve it out of wax and all this time-consuming work. It's you let the 3D printer do the work, and yeah, so it's an efficient way to do it. Um, let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like hit and miss engines are actually pretty efficient. Um, Kind of. I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah, I feel like hit and miss engines are pretty efficient. So I mean, it's it's probably about as actually it's probably about on par with a hit and miss engine, honestly. But uh, so the piston, I've had this piston in here probably. I would guess it's run for at least 10 hours, this piston. So, I mean, it's not like a car where it's going to run hundreds of hours, hundreds of thousands of hours, but I mean, it's enough to charge a cell phone if you need to do that or something. And I've run it continuously for like an hour straight, and I mean, it's very fiddly, so you have to constantly adjust it, and it'll stall out sometimes. So I really need to build like a governor or something for my internal combustion engine so that it stays running, and like keeps a constant speed. So at some point I'm going to do that, but I'm not going to modify this one anymore because I really like how it looks very steampunk and very cool. So I actually might take the radiator off this one because while the radiator is cool and it makes it like it makes it look less steampunk and less cool. It makes it look too cluttered. So I think I'm going to take the radiator off of it and just leave the water pump and just leave it basic and then have the radiator on like a separate board. So that's my plan, I think. So my plan is to actually build another engine and then do more modifications to that one. So yeah. I don't know a whole lot about making a very strong magnet. The best way I would say to build a very strong magnet is, yeah, so, oh wait, who's asking that? Oh, Corbin is asking about advice how to make a very strong magnet. The best way I could tell you, take a microwave oven transformer and cut the bottom off of it. You have a very strong magnet. That's what, oh yeah, Colin First, he's my favorite, one of my favorite YouTubers. That's what he did to make shoes to walk on the metal ceiling. So you pretty much, I mean, if you put a piece of metal on there, hook this thing up to like 24 volts, you will not be able to pull it off the piece of metal. It's really strong. So yeah, that's how to make a really strong magnet. But you can do that with any transformer. Cut any transformer in half, like this little guy. You can make a pretty decent electric magnet out of this. So yeah, that's how you make a strong magnet. The blue box. Third. Oh. Somebody's asking what the blue box on the shelf is. Third from the white, third from the top, something like that. This is a thing I pulled out of a dumpster. It's called a super cow. It's like, I think what you do is it's very precise. It puts out very precise voltages and currents and stuff like that, and you can use it to calibrate stuff. I've used the frequency counter the most because I don't need anything that precise, honestly. But it looks like it was probably a pretty expensive piece of kit, but it was dumpster dove, so it was free for me. It also has a calculator too. So yeah, but yeah, let's see. Yeah, I did a little bit of blacksmithing at one point. I think I actually have it. Ouch. Tripping over stuff. Nope, these are. There's another one in here too. Here are the things I've blacksmithed. So this was like my first attempt at. Wait. Okay. This was my first attempt at making a knife out of a railroad. Was this a railroad spike? I don't remember. But yeah, it was a railroad spike. So this was my first attempt. I kind of burned it up here. So yeah, that one didn't turn out very good. This was like my. Was that my second attempt or was this one? I think this was my. This was my second attempt, and this one turned out pretty good. It's actually a pretty decent throwing knife. Like I can throw it pretty accurately, and this was made out of a big nail, so it's more like a letter opener actually. But I don't know. And then this one I never finished, so yeah. But it's a railroad spike, or it used to be. So yeah, those are the knives I've made. Should I make a Facebook for my channel? I could do that. I've thought about that. Would you guys? I've never done Twitter before. I could either do a Twitter or Facebook for my channel. Which would you guys rather? Eat my moto dust. You said that you made an engine that runs on nothing. Explain. Um, I don't know if it would be, I think. Um, well, I mean, somebody says go chemical engineering. Well, chemical engineering is very important, but it's not exactly what I want to do. I want to do mechanical engineering because that's what I am interested in. Okay, so everybody's saying Facebook. Okay, so I will make a Facebook then for my channel. So, um, yeah, I will get my butt on that. So, Facebook coming soon. um, so yeah. Um, oh, the EM drive. I've heard of that before. I think Cody's Lab did a video on that, didn't he? Everybody's saying what time it is. Yeah, it's 10:38 here in PA. Wow, there's people here from all the different times. That's pretty cool. Um, cool. Huh. Interesting. So like how does it work? Like it uses magnets. I've seen lots of fake magnetic like free energy devices, but I don't know. I haven't seen any that are actually convincing. You'd have to convince me, and that would take a lot because I don't believe in free energy. Free energy has to come from somewhere, in my opinion. It can change form, but still has to come from somewhere. Um, oh, that's cool. My brother's gone. My younger brother, my dad took him to the Home Depot workshop, I think, the one time with like Cub Scouts or something. That's cool. Yeah, you gotta go then. Bye. Let's see. Well, I mean, so somebody says, I enjoy Cody's lab. So James H says, I enjoy Cody's lab, but I don't know if he is kind of half cocked. Like he thinks he knows a lot, but he can't pass calculus. Well, don't judge people on whether they can pass calculus or not. Because I mean, unless they're trying to teach you calculus, then yeah, then that's stupid. But I've have taken Calc 2 several times now, and I am having such a bad time with it. So, and I also am very bad at English, and so, but I can still build stuff, and I feel like I know a good bit about like engines and stuff. I mean, I don't know everything, but I mean, I know more. I certainly know more than the average person who like doesn't even put oil in their car when it needs oil. But I mean, I don't know. So I mean, you can't judge people on whether they can pass exams and stuff. I feel like being homeschooled, I feel like exams are stupid. So for one, I never took the SAT because I I found my parents found a loophole that what you do is you go to community college for a couple years, and then when you go to a bigger college like Penn State, they just or most colleges they just look at your GPA from community college. They don't even look at or they don't even need your SAT. So that's a loophole, kind of like a back door to get into a larger college. So yeah. You could try turning down your quality. Maybe that might help because it seems like most people are. It's not too laggy. Um, so yeah. Okay. No, I haven't. I don't read very much, honestly. It sounds like an interest react reactionless drive, huh? Sounds interesting though. I will have to look into it. Um, yeah, I have a friend from Ukraine actually too. He's from Hack Pittsburgh, or he is at Hack. He's a member of Hack Pittsburgh, and he was a kid when Chernobyl happened. So yeah, kind of cool. Let's see, what was I gonna do? I was gonna say something or show you guys something. I don't remember what. Is it? Well, I don't know. Do you guys have any last questions? Because my voice is getting dead here. So, yeah. So we're gonna have to end this pretty soon here. Yep, that's a good quote from Bill Gates. I could put the engine back together, but it'd kind of take me a little while because I have to clean everything and then grease it all up and put it back together. And yeah, I could do more live streams, definitely. Although up at Penn State, I can't really because, well, at least at my house, I can't do a live stream because I only get like 2 megabits up. No, less than that. It's like 0.5 megabits upload speed. So like it would be such a low quality live stream. So I could really only do it on the weekends, like if I come home. Um, or if I go up to school, maybe I could do a live stream. Yeah, I could do a live stream up at school in a computer lab or something like that. That would work. But yeah. Um, wait, what did that person say? Um, Somebody says do burnouts in your golf. I've done. It's not power. It's only has a two. No, yeah, it has a 2 liter engine in it, so it's not particularly powerful. Um, it'll like do burnouts on. It'll like burn out on like a wet road, but or in the snow, but on dry roads, not very good. It's not enough power. I kind of prefer having good gas mileage over power, so that's why I kind of went with a smaller engine. Yeah. But yeah, so not really I can't really do too many burnouts in it. Eat by Moto Dust. You'll have to like. Do you have a video about this engine that you made that runs on nothing? I would like to see it. Yeah, no problem, guys. That was awesome. Let's see what else. I guess. Oh, I could show you guys that right now, actually, if you want. So the cheese casting thing. This is what it looks like, and I showed it at the end of the video too. So you just have to watch the whole video. So this is what the sprue tree part looks like after I cut everything off, and then we've got the little doorknob that I made. This is the hand that my mother made. So the little guy in the hand, and then we've got the mushroom that my little brother made. And I have to put, this is the little ring, or it's actually a neckerchief slide for my brother, who's a Boy Scout. This is the little L that my mom made. And then we've got the heart that my sister made, and another ring that didn't turn out very good that my sister made. And then I've got the ring that I made, which I'm wearing. That one I polished up in the video at the end. So, turned out pretty good though. Although it's like the copper is corroding and making my skin turn all kinds of green colors, but it's not that bad for you, really. So yeah. So good night, Dad. Legit DIY says, can you say? He wants me to say his name before I end the stream. All right, I did. Why do people keep saying give me a suck? I don't know. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the live stream. So yeah. Someone says Kem's got all the girls, just saying. True. True. Trying to think. Yeah, I guess it does have all the girls. At Penn State, there's a lot of girls in Chem, I think. chemistry engineers, and I'm trying to think. There's a couple in petroleum engineers as well. Derpy Hooves says say his name, his account name. Isn't that My Little Pony's name, Derpy Hooves? I'm not sure. My sister watches that, or at least she used to be obsessed with it. Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be a single coil transformer. You can always just use only one coil. Yeah, it'd be cool to do a collaboration with AVE. He's in Canada though, isn't he? I think he's in Quebec. I'm not sure. Not sure where he is. Which actually isn't too far from Erie. That's like, I don't know, a couple-hour drive. Yeah, I have no idea why people are saying that. Yeah, true. They're almost as bad as horse girls. Horsewomen, they love their horses more than you. So like, yeah, they're gonna that's just crazy. So like, I don't even know. Okay, I'll try to check out some of you guys' channels. Although there's a lot of you in here, I'll see what I can do. No, I don't play Fallout. I play a little bit of Minecraft with my brothers and cousins. I don't play it by myself. I just play it with other people, like sometimes. And then also I'll play Rise of Nations sometimes, and that's about it, really. So yeah. All right. So yeah, it's almost 11 so over here at least. So all right. So it was an awesome live stream, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me, and hopefully we'll do this again. I'll definitely create a Facebook, and so yeah, that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep experimenting. I have to figure out how to turn this off now. Oh, here we go.